There is something very special about game day in Tuscaloosa. It involves the University of Alabama marching band on the steps of the presidential mansion. It includes the Walk of Champions, the undefeated Crimson Tide entering Bryant-Denny Stadium. Oh yes, there are a few Florida fans here. But they're quite outnumbered by those who are yelling "Roll Tide." And a meeting at the middle of the field, two old friends, Nick Saban of Alabama, Will Muschamp of Florida. They were together years ago at LSU. We welcome you to the SEC on CBS. It's the Home Depot SEC, and today it features the Florida Gators against the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Hi once again, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson. We have two undefeated teams coming into this game, but Gary, you get a sense they're uncertain as to exactly who they are.
Yeah, kind of thinking, if you asked a Gator fan or a Tide fan, your team's undefeated. What do you think of your team? They'd probably say, could I tell you about 6:30 tonight?
Right.
They don't know. They think they're good, but these two fan bases measure their team with championships, so they're going to reserve judgment.
This is a game involving star athletes, and none more so than Amari Cooper at wide receiver and Vernon Hargraves, whom we expect to cover him most of the game.
Yeah, so far Florida has not showed that, but I do suspect that Hargraves will be on Cooper. I think it's the premier matchup of excellence at receiver and a shutdown corner. You have to figure, if Cooper's going to run wild with a bunch of easy pitch and catches, Florida will not be able to win. I like Hargraves. I like Cooper. That should be fun to watch.
And we will. Well, in a game of this early season magnitude, inevitably we focus on the quarterbacks. Interesting matchup here, or contrast rather, Blake Sims, Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah, Blake Sims has had it pretty good so far. To win the job is tough at Alabama. He had to wait his turn. A great competitor, a little different, a little bit more like Andrew Zhao, maybe from the past. A little bit more legs than the past quarterbacks that Alabama's shown. But I got a feeling to beat Florida and win a national championship is going to take more than Blake Sims's legs. On the other side, Jeff Driscoll, he's been through so much. Maybe the #1 recruit in the country when he came to Florida. I can't believe Florida wins this game if they lose the quarterback matchup. I think Jeff Driscoll has to be the best quarterback on the field.
Well, in each of the first two games, 101,821 have filled Bryant-Denny. We might have a few more than that today. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Hyundai, Chick-fil-A, Microsoft, and by AT&T. And we thank our friends from the Florida-Georgia line for welcoming us back to Tuscaloosa a moment ago. Out first, the Crimson Tide of Alabama, their head coach Nick Saban. 50 straight wins against unranked opponents, 3-0 this year. And shortly after, the Gators from Florida. That +7 turnover margin is the best in the SEC. They have taken 4 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries. Their head coach, Will Muschamp. We now take you to First on the Field, presented by Microsoft Surface. And let's go down to Allie with Coach
Jeff Driscoll faced Alabama. It was a rude awakening to the SEC. That was 3 seasons ago, and a lot has changed. What do you expect from Jeff today?
Jeff will play well. We got a good plan. He's more comfortable now. He's older. He's more mature. He's a much improved player from that time.
This is just the second time that you get to face off head coach to head coach against your mentor, Nick Saban. What are the emotions like?
Well, I'm worried about the University of Florida right now, not Nick.
Okay, Coach, good luck.
Alabama won the toss. They have deferred the option. And Florida will get the ball to get the game going. Comfortable afternoon. Last Saturday of summer, 87 degrees, slight breeze. And we don't have any clouds that are threatening in the area. Alabama leads the series by 9. They've met 7 times in the SEC championship. Gators have the lead there.
Mentor, coach, they both answered the same way. Earlier we heard from Nick, said the same exact thing. I'm worried about the guys, not Nick, not Will.
Well, the background there is that Will Muschamp was hired as a linebacker coach by Nick Saban. Later became his defensive coordinator. They won a national title together at LSU, went to the Miami Dolphins. Muschamp left after 1 year when he did not receive the promotion from Saban for the defensive coordinator's job. It went to Dom Capers. Muschamp, of course, went to the University of Texas and then became the head coach in the city where he grew up, Gainesville, Florida. Adam Griffith will kick off. Andre DeBose, who has 4 kick returns for touchdowns in his career, is the deep man. Valdez Showers is also back. Good kick by Griffin. This will not be returned. DeBose takes it 9.5 yards deep. And now the starting lineup presented by Chick-fil-A. Jeff Driscoll, how many times do you think he will run today?
I think he'll have to run a bit more than we've seen him in the first 2 games. He's the way the Florida offense gets outside. The 2 running backs like to run the ball in between the tackles.
Griffin, who had the fractured leg 2 years ago, or last year rather, and on first down, he's in the gun. Swings it out to the right side. It's complete to DeMarcus Robinson, who equaled a school record with 15 catches last week in the double-triple overtime win over Kentucky. It's Chaz Green, Thurman, Garcia, Brown. Matt Jones had a big day in that 3 overtime win, but so did Robinson with 15 catches for 216 yards. They test the middle, nothing there. Matt Jones tackled by Jaron Reed, number 90. And Duvall was also a part of it. Defensively for Alabama, Allen, Robinson, Reed, and Duvall up front. DePriest and Ragland, the linebackers. Landon Collins, I think, the best of the secondary guns.
Oh, man, that could be a disaster for Florida. They're already without DJ Humphries. Chaz Green, their most experienced offensive lineman.
Ouch.
The very first play, does he get, yes, fallen on from behind on the play. The tackle from behind falls right into him, and wow. Florida already short in the offensive line. They don't have a lot of depth.
And so a freshman, David Sharp, has moved in at left tackle.
A true freshman.
Yeah. Where's number 78? Driscoll to throw again. Puts it deep. It's too high. It's incomplete. Good coverage. Intended for Quentin Dunbar.
Well, David Sharp did a decent job and gave Driscoll time to throw the ball. The Alabama coverage was too good.
Christian Jones is the deep man on fourth down. Kyle Christie is having a superb season through 2 games. See that average of 48.6. This one drives Christian Jones back. Fair catch called for. He'll let it go.
Well, he got lucky. Should have caught that ball.
Yes.
He got confused. Thought he had his heels on the 10. He really had him on the 15, I think. He's lucky that ball isn't on the 3-yard line.
And let's go down to Allie with an update on Chaz Green.
Thanks, Vern. Chaz Green came right to the trainer's table, pointed exactly to his right ankle, so it seems to be some sort of a right ankle injury. They wrapped up his ankle over top of his shoe and his sock. He hopped right off the table, and he's trying to walk it out on the sidelines now, although he has not been able to walk without a limp at this point. But he is hopping right back on the bench for team meetings so he can get back in.
Vernon Hargraves and Amari Cooper, bottom of the screen. We expect that for much of the afternoon, not every play. And Blake Sims is the quarterback on first down. 4-man rush by the Gators.
Oh, jeez.
Deep right side, man wide open. Caught. Kenyon Drake, the running back. Touchdown. Alabama. 87 yards.
Vern, I have to say, you have to give this one to Lane Kiffin. He got the exact matchup he wanted. He had the linebacker matched up. Antonio Morrison on an elite running back. And Lane Kiffin dialed up. I got to say, you cannot do it any better than that as an offensive coordinator. Slant and go for 6 points.
Adam Griffith. One offensive play, 187-yard touchdown. Kenyon Drake and the new offensive coordinator, Lane Kiffin, called it.
This is a middle linebacker. This is an elite running back, a Reggie Bush-type running back in Kenyon Drake. Watch the slant and go. Touchdown. Gee.
Well, how about that start? 87 yards. Blake Sims, longest TD throw of his career. Bryant-Denny Stadium, 7-0. As Kenyon Drake, the speediest of the backs, flew down the right side by the linebacker and caught the pass in stride from Blake Sims. My goodness. And so Adam Griffith will kick off again. Andre DeBose, Valdez Showers are the two deep men. This one's short, taken by Valdez Showers. And he's bumped out of bounds. Gary, another look at the touchdown.
This wasn't that big of a gamble, Vern. Look what the quarterback looks at. Let's draw a line right down the middle of the formation. He has the look he wants for the home run, but here's the single over here, the base hit. Watch Cooper run a wide receiver screen, okay? So if he doesn't get the look, he can always throw the screen. Get the look, go for the touchdown.
Like you said, Gary, coaching. That was impressive.
I think back, though, Florida, when they opened up a game against Alabama, throwing Scott Brantley hit a big touchdown to start the game. Doesn't always mean it ends that way. 2011, I think it was.
John Brantley. Here is Driscoll with an attempted answer. DeMarcus Robinson had a stride, but the pass slightly overthrown.
You know how Florida is matching up with Cooper. Alabama is putting their 5-star Tony Brown, a true freshman, on Robinson. Well, Robinson and Cooper are two of the most targeted receivers in college football. I think like 3rd and 5th, something like that. I mean, you know, Alabama just plays their system. We recruit you to cover the guy, do it.
Kelvin Taylor is the running back.
Beautiful.
Fake to him, and the pass is complete to Clay Burton.
This is one of those plays. It's a run and a pass. The offensive linemen do not know if that's going to be a run play or a pass play. It's up to the quarterback. Instead of handing it off, he can hit the pop pass. It really stresses Nick's man zone concept, matchup concept.
Driscoll nailed. It's Tony Brown, the cornerback, who is getting his first start in part because Eddie Jackson is injured and can't go with that.
This is a misread by Jeff Driscoll. He reads the end man in the line of scrimmage to keep it, but he doesn't read the corner blitz. You got to see it all when you're running that zone keep. Alabama was tipping off the corner blitz. It's the only blitz they've shown in 3 games. They have not been blitzing their inside linebackers.
And so after a gain of 18, that is a loss of 6. After 35, here's Driscoll. Goes deep left side, double coverage. Whoa. LaTroy Pittman, yeah. My goodness. Out of bounds.
Slot receiver. Was he bumped out of bounds? Marcus Smith has the coverage. I guess his foot came out. Must have hit the line. We could not see that. Great catch. That's the difference to me, though, Vernon, Florida. They're more athletic at wideout than I've seen in a while. Back all the way to the Percy Harvin, David Nelson, Riley Cooper days.
My goodness.
Those days fly by, I hate to say it.
You ought to see it from my chair.
Yep.
This one wobbles. That was a duck badly thrown.
Yeah, but it's a bad matchup. You got your tight end matched up against a corner. I can't believe Kurt Roper, offensive coordinator for Florida, wants that ball going to that matchup.
Kurt Roper, in his first year as a coordinator, came off of David Cutcliffe's Duke staff. And now Kyle Christie had a boomer, 58 yards the first time. Christian Jones is back at the 18-yard line. Return on all the way. Jones grabs it at the 8. And is forced out of bounds just beyond the 20. That's a 58-yard punt and a 17-yard return. Here's the difference in the game thus far. Kenyon Drake gives him something to yell about.
Adam Zucker with this Ford update. When we left you on college football today, we said Georgia Tech was lining up for the game-winning field goal in Blacksburg, and Harrison Butker, he got it. Yellow Jackets scored 10 points in the final 2 minutes and 3 seconds as the Hokies lose consecutive home games. Back to Vernon Gary in Tuscaloosa.
All right, Adam, thank you. And 7-0 score here. Let's go back and look at what was ruled a non-catch.
Yeah, one more look, just for the, at least for the Gator fans, just to make sure. It appeared that Pittman reached for the ground, but never got to the ground. As Landon Collins, he never showed any turf. Nothing came up to help the referee. So just to let you know, we were trying to get to it, but we finally did.
Well, you know, this is a complicated system.
Oh, nobody's got any TiVo or anything anymore.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, where are we going next now, basically, right?
Kenyon Drake is in the backfield. Gets the handoff on the sweep. Gets a block in the corner from DeAndrew White.
Balls out.
Fumble.
Yep.
Well, how about that?
I think Hargraves got it, too, right before it went out of bounds. It was stripped late.
Marcus May ripped it out.
It was. Watch the ball. Hargraves comes around, he sees it at the last second and gets it before it goes out of bounds.
That is the third lost fumble by the Crimson Tide in 3 games and a quarter. And no doubt about this one. There's number 20, Marcus May. There's the rip. And it's a first down at the 31-yard line.
Boy, Kenyon Drake goes from
right
penthouse to the outhouse pretty quick, doesn't he?
87 degrees at kickoff. First
This
down
almost
10.
feels like Florida has to put points on the board here.
Blitz. Driscoll takes off. Doesn't get much.
By the way, Chaz Green isn't back in the football game.
That is good news for Florida. Hope he's reasonably healthy. Ryan Anderson, excuse me, Gary, made the tackle.
Yeah, Vern, you asked me, is Driscoll going to try to keep the ball? So far, that has been obvious. That they've just told Jeff, you need to help us in the running game as we look at Chaz Green.
Matt Jones is the running back. Alabama brings 4. Off his foot, back foot. Trey DePriest was the closest in the area. Matt Jones, the intended receiver.
I have to say, I really believe. Now, I know the strength of Alabama's defense is they take pride in stopping the run. I mean, they measure pride in defense against the run in 0 yards or less. Not 3 yards or less, 0 or less. But what Florida does best on the run is run between the tackles. I don't think you can concede that if you're Florida.
Third down 7. Gators trail by 7. DeMarcus Robinson makes sure he's got the play call. He's up on the line right side. Alabama brings the house. They've got 4 back. Deep in the corner, wide open. Caught at the 5. Valdez Showers. And it looked like they may have victimized Jabril Washington, number 23.
Yeah, the slot has been the problem for both of these teams, really, but that's almost embarrassing for Florida's defense. A great route by Showers, good protection by Florida, a great answer by the Gators, and that has to take the pressure off Jeff Driscoll.
Frankie Velez, who is perfect this year on extra points, knocks this one home. He's now 12 for 12.
Yeah, this is just a total bust down. But I tell you what, for the Florida Gators, the way they were shocked to open this game on the road, that's a great comeback.
Well, take a look at the slot. Driscoll looked that way. That was Valdez Showers beating Jabril Washington. We're tied at 7. Follow Florida, Alabama, or your favorite team all on your phone. Download the CBS Sports app for in-depth stats and all the conversation around today's matchup. Look at that. First touchdown at Alabama since '98.
I think the last 3 meetings, Florida gets Alabama. We were there for all 3 of them. You know, it was the SEC championship with Tim's game, kind of the end of his career, 10 and 11. I mean, it's a 101-39. It has not been pretty. This is a better Florida team. I agree with everybody who said that about this Florida team. More athletes on offense.
Austin Harden with the kick, taken at the goal line by Christian Jones, number 22, and jolted down. Jabari Gorman. And now time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success.
You know, Vern, even if your tool is a little bit dull, you still got to use it. Chaz Green here, playing injured, makes a big block. The mistake is it's 2-on-1 here. Trey DePriest does not rush fast enough. They was unblocked on the play. They had 2-on-1 on the running back, Mac Jones, and then the secondary with the injuries in the back end. Remember, no Nick Perry. You already had Jarek Williams down. You're down to your third and fourth safeties, and Washington got beat badly.
That's Mark Herndon, the running back on special teams, number 37, who is down for Florida.
Just you know my feeling, and we've been at this long enough now, Vern, is just as a player, Nick calls it the process. I just call it just keep playing. You know what I mean? Yeah, they hit us with a big one. They're good too. Just keep playing.
Are you telling me that Alabama didn't have momentum?
Yeah, right. Well, I don't use it. Your next guy. After you outlive me, your next guy that you work with.
Herndon being helped off the sideline. Well, Gary and I have been together 9 years, and if I've learned one thing, it's never to believe in momentum.
And other guys can. That's fine. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying I don't do it.
Herndon helped to the locker room.
Well, I might go with a different running back, I think, right?
Yeah, it's going to be T.J. Yeldon.
Yeah.
They use three primarily. Here's Yeldon. Dances to the right. Stiff arm, and he does avoid Neron Ball, number 11.
That play was designed to go between the tackles. When Florida forces that Alabama running back, or any running back they play against, to bounce it outside, you know that defense worked.
On the ground, this Alabama team averaging just over 40 yards per game defensively. Florida's pretty good too, under 81 yards per game. Second down, 11. Andrew White. They expect to get the ball to him quite a bit today. Shoulder injury cost him the last two games. He was injured against West Virginia. And time now for the Chick-fil-A starting lineups. There's Blake Sims, has started each of the three previous games. Jake Coker, transfer from Florida State, thought to be the favorite going into camp. And it was a scrimmage 1 week before the first game of the season when Coker took a step back and Blake Sims suddenly seemed to find a few answers. Ryan Kelly is the center over the ball. 3rd and 5. Sims. Nice. Amari Cooper, first catch of the day. Leads the country in number of catches. That's per game. That's his first today.
Well, 3rd and 5, an obvious passing down. The Alabama offensive line does a great job of keeping that pocket clean. An absolutely perfect throw. And one of the elite players in college football. He's about maybe an inch smaller than Julio Jones, but the same type of player. And if you watch Thursday night, Jim and Phil Sims saw what type of player Julio Jones was.
Yes, they did. That was a gain of 26 on 3rd and 5.
It was a zone coverage for Florida that time, too.
Whoops. Flag is down. Illegal procedure.
Just love those receivers that just pluck that ball out of the air.
Snap infraction on the offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Tom Ritter is our referee today. And here the remainder, true freshman. Robinson starting at left tackle. First true freshman at that spot since Andre Smith in 2006. Quanjo, Kelly, Brown, Shepard, and the remainder of the offense. And Yeldon remains in at running back. Jalston Fowler, the fullback, is tight to the right. Sims, right side. DeAndrew White, second catch, fumble again, picked up. Here we go. It's Tim Kimbrough down the sidelines, and I think he got in. Is there a touchdown ruled? Yes.
Holy cow.
Keanu Neal, not Kimbrough, beg your pardon.
Keanu Neal, the safety that time, comes over again on a sweep on the first turnover. Now on a short pass. No reason. Poole comes in. Oh, his ball. Number 11. Ron Ball is the guy who forced it. And then Neal takes it. I don't know if he got in or not. The ball and the foot hits it at the same time. I'm sure it'll be reviewed here to see if he was actually in. He's got the ball in the right hand. Does his left foot go out of bounds? It looks like he got it in there. From that look, I don't see his foot out of bounds. His left foot, they got to.
I don't. The touchdown. That plays under further review.
It's his left foot right at the 1 yard line. If that went out of bounds, it's not a touchdown. And so far, I don't see anything that is definitive that it was on the line. I can't tell.
His left foot appears to be close, but that's certainly not.
Yeah, and you know, the problem is we do blow it up, but the more you blow it up, the blurrier it gets. I don't think that can be overturned. I think it's going to stand.
Ruled a touchdown.
So far, do we have any other looks?
That appears clean, I think.
I don't know.
When he dragged his foot.
Yeah, but now you got to decide whether the ball was across the line when his toe went out. See, I don't think so far. I see nothing that the booth could see better than the official on the field. To be honest, I don't see an official.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And it was Keanu Neal, number 42, who was burned for a 60-yard touchdown pass in the game against Kentucky last week and came back with 2 late interceptions.
Yeah, the turnover margin that Florida struggled so much with in 2013 has turned their way this year so far. How about that? 2 early turnovers. They were +7 coming into the game. Now they're +9, as Vern told you earlier.
They've recovered 6 fumbles in 2 games and a quarter. One more look. Keanu Neal. After DeAndrew White's fumble, Florida touchdown. They're up by 7. 14-7 Florida. 2 fumble recoveries have led to 2 touchdowns, 1 directly. And we've still got 9:24 to go in the first quarter. Another look.
Vern, the touchdown was caused by this man right there, number 11, Ron Ball. Reads it really quickly, pursues to the outside, athletically closes space, puts his helmet right on the football, pops it out, and that's how Neal's able to scoop it up and score. I mean, we've had 6 plays in the game, Vern. 1 touchdown, 2 turnovers. Sims is 4 for 4, and they're losing 14-7. And Alabama, this is what they usually do to other teams, okay? Right now, as you look at the Alabama team, they've only forced 1 turnover all season. The opposite, 9 of them for Florida.
Austin Harden will kick for the Gators. Christian Jones, 2 yards back. He will bring it out. Oh, boy. That was Keanu Neal again, wasn't it? Yes. Well, how about the home record in the last 6 years?
They've been pretty good. Alabama's been pretty good. And to beat them, I think you got to have a superstar. Okay, Cam Newton did it in the second half with his arm, throwing that ball against that Alabama defense. Remember that? We were here. Then they lost to LSU. Remember, 12 defensive players were drafted by the NFL, 4 of them in the first round, and then another Heisman Trophy eventual winner came in here and beat them 29-24. You don't beat them are not playing excellent football against them in this place.
Florida's last win here was in '98.
Watch the sweep to Cooper. Oh, jeez. Delay a game.
Delay game, offense, number 2. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And while we've got a moment, things have been happening quickly here. Let's set the Florida defensive. Buller or Cummings. Dante Fowler, we expect to see him all over the lot on that defensive line. You've met Ball, Taylor, Morrison, and you met Keanu Neal just a moment ago. First down, 15. Got it. Cooper's second catch of this ball game. Gang tackled and driven out of bounds. Hargraves against Cooper.
Yeah, and I think that any corner will give up this. Okay, this is actually a zone coverage again. We're not getting man-to-man. It's going to be a mix. And on that play, Hargraves was to the short side. Here it is right now, Vern. As you look, as Hargraves is now, Sims is talking to his guys up front. Well, let's concentrate. Now Hargraves is to the wide side matched up. This should tip off that they are going to match up with Cooper. Yes, a man-to-man.
And Cooper makes the catch.
So you can see the difference. All game against Kentucky, Hargraves went to the boundary. Did not match up with anyone in the game. When he goes to the wide side of the field, you almost have to believe, if you're Sims, there's for a reason. If Cooper goes wide and Hargraves goes wide, pretty much got to bet man-to-man.
Well, I am told that they follow each other on Twitter.
Well,
I'm told that. Third down and short. Sims keeps it. And it's a first down. We still haven't reached the halfway point of the first quarter.
No, there's been a lot going on here. What hasn't been going on yet is Alabama establishing their inside run game that we've been used to. I mean, you know, we haven't seen, Derrick Henry, TJ Yeldon running between the tackles. And people talking to Alabama people that follow them say this might be the biggest difference in their team this year. They don't have the depth or the strength in their offensive line that they've been used to here.
They get the snap at the 2-second mark. And Yeldon is driven out of bounds. Let's go back to Adam Zucker in our New York studios for this update.
Yes, Vern, next week we'll have A&M and Arkansas here on CBS. A&M's Trey Williams making it 10-0 Aggies over SMU in their first game since June Jones resigned. They have negative yards so far. A&M up 10-0 toward the end of the first quarter, guys.
Adam, thank you. It's 14-7 here, Florida. Sims goes deep. Cooper got it. Down to the 32. Morrison caught up with him. Third catch for Amari Cooper.
By willing to put the formation, this is a tight end. And this is Cooper right here. By declaring they wouldn't put Hargraves, you pretty much known it's going to be a zone here. Blake Sims, with the help of the coordinator, sees by alignment, I'm going to get zone, I can go to the middle of the field. And that's what he does.
Back at the line of scrimmage after the 38-yard catch. They'll hand off. It's Yeldon coming left. Doesn't get much help downfield, and Vernon Hargraves, number 1, steps up to make the tackle.
By smartly using your tight ends and running backs in formations, you can force the defense to declare whether it's zone or man. It's very hard to distort your defense now. The fullback is wide at the bottom right here, Fowler.
And Cooper top of the screen, this time covered by Brian Poole, number 24. Sims drills it, overthrows Cooper, who looked like he was open. Yep, Sims says that's on me. Lane Kiffin, offensive coordinator.
Looks like Vernon Hargraves might have taken a little shot on that last play. Got hit. Went off off the field after that play. I don't know if it's shoulder, leg, whatever, but you know, Hargrave sticks his nose in there. I'll tell you, he's not afraid to come up with contact.
Quincy Wilson is on the field defensively, number 12. Third down, 6. Alabama trails by 7.
Can Fowler make a play? Number 6.
Sims, that's tipped in the line. It'll be 4th down. Darius Cummings, number 55, got the tip.
Decent protection, but anytime you throw the ball short, you have to find those lanes. Cummings is not going to get to the quarterback, so he does the next best thing.
And a field goal effort coming now. Adam Griffith in the opening game had 3 in excess of 40 against West Virginia. Griffin, this one from 45 yards away, and it's not going to be good. Wide left, first miss of the year.
This one wasn't even close, was it? Unless it had a big slice on it. That had no chance right away. Well, the team that had so much bad happen, Will Muschamp's team, the last, you know, I mean, think about Muschamp when you think about Florida. I mean, in 2-3 years, he's lost his starting quarterback in the first part of the season in 2 out of the 3 years. The one year he didn't, he had a great football team.
They were 11-2 2 years ago. This is Kelvin Taylor, number 21. Runs into Trey DePriest, linebacker for Alabama. 5:36 to go. 14-7. Excuse me, Gary.
I'm sorry, Vern. You know, people think you want to always go fast, okay? I get it. No huddle is no huddle. But Florida only has really 6 offensive linemen. They don't want to go too fast with those offensive linemen. They got to keep them fresh.
Driscoll stumbles. Caught by Denzel Duvall, number 30. Well, you remember Brent Peace was the offensive coordinator a year ago. Didn't work out the way anybody had hoped. So Kurt Roper Jr. is the new offensive coordinator. And we mentioned he was with David Cutcliffe for quite a while. 3rd down, 8. Driscoll.
Beautiful.
Oh, dropped.
My.
Quentin Dunbar, who's caught passes in 30 consecutive games. Misses that one.
You know, this is when you really start to wonder. I mean, a perfect throw. Now, a lot of people think a perfect throw is right in the stomach. A perfect throw is just above the eyes. That's where the receivers like it because they can see their hands in peripheral and the football. 10 guys do a good job. The whole coaching staff does a good job. A drop ball.
Here's Kyle Christie, 3rd punt. Each of the previous 2, 58 yards. Christian Jones is back. This one not so good, but it does get a Florida roll. And comes to rest at the 21-yard line. That's a 49-yard punt with the roll. Doubleheader for you tomorrow. The Bird and the Beard are in New York. That's Ian Eagle and Dan Fouts for Houston and the Giants. Jim, Phil, and Tracy have made the long trek from that wonderfully played game the other night all the way to Seattle for Denver. And Seattle, it all begins with the NFL Today, tomorrow, 12 Eastern, presented by Southwest Airlines. First down, 10. Play fake. Sims goes deep, wide open. Oh, my gracious. Over the cliff. Amari Cooper will stroll in. You might want to keep your eye on number 9.
Yeah. Hargraves is not on on the field on this. Hargraves was back on the field, and matched up on this play, but it was a bootleg. But it was kind of like a counter bootleg, Vern. The motion went one way, and Cooper went against the grain. Very well designed again.
79 yards on the pass and the catch. It's Sims to Amari Cooper.
Yeah. See, they've got Hargraves to the outside, but watch Cooper beat number 42. You think he's going that way, but he actually goes to the middle. All the action goes to the outside. Cooper fakes like he's going to the sideline, goes back to the inside, and you just might as well throw that ball as high as you can, because that way Cooper has time to get under it like a center fielder. And Amari Cooper just kind of walks into the end zone. Nice offense. Throw it deep.
Welcome back to Bryant Denny. Amari Cooper. Neal, and after the catch, Will Muschamp very upset, and he didn't go after Keanu Neal. That's Brian Poole, number 24. Well, Neal's there too. Yeah.
They're both within shouting distance. Let's put it that way. And you know, the Andrew White, number 2, if you saw in that replay, he knew he wasn't getting the ball. This was designed for one guy. They had a tip on it. That was again in film work. Basically, you know, I know everybody had to run their stuff, but you almost can give Lane Kiffin 2 touchdowns in this game. Beautifully designed plays.
Cooper now 5 receptions for 156 yards. Here's Valdez Showers. Oh boy, face mask? No.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, there it is. Cyrus Jones, the cornerback, number 5. One of those proverbial inadvertent, but pretty obvious. Here's Tom Ritter.
They're going to call that.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, number 5 defense, 15 yards, first down.
Well, let's see as we take a peek at the superstar on one side. If Florida now doesn't try to settle this game down a little bit, you got 2 big, strong running backs, Jones and Taylor. They've not been successful getting Driscoll outside running the ball. If I was Kurt Roper, I would try to establish an inside run game here.
Matt Jones is the running back on first down 10. He's got it.
That's what they do.
You bet. Jones in that final touchdown drive against Kentucky ran it all 4 times and got the touchdown. He had a personal best of 156 yards in that game.
Inside, everybody does their job, and that's a 230-pound man right there, Matt Jones.
14 all, and another first down. Try it again. Oh boy,
that was met, but the run continued, didn't it?
Reggie Ragland with the contact, number 19.
That was big on big. Reggie Ragland is one of the big hitters. He loves a downhill running game. He may get one.
I think so. On your left, we're live. Second down and 8. Now Driscoll looks back. So does Jones. LaTroy Pittman and DeMarcus Robinson, right side. Andre DeBose, they said they were going to try and get the ball to him today. He's got no catches for the year. It won't be on this play. He does block downfield, and Cyrus Jones fights off that block to make the tackle. Matt Jones with the carry.
Well, Matt Jones was one of 17 players. I was going to say starters. That wouldn't have been accurate. 17 players that had season-ending injuries for Florida last year. One of them, their quarterback, obviously Jones. I mean, they were decimated football team by the end of the year when they lost 7 straight.
Tevin Westbrook, the tight end, is off the line of scrimmage. Here's Driscoll up the middle. Does a nice job of holding on to the football.
That was a design inside quarterback run right there. And, you know, I asked Kurt Roper, considering the problems you've had with injuries at quarterback, well, not you, Kurt, but the football team at Florida, are you going to be willing to run Driscoll? So we kind of got it. And, by the way, you know, Taj Boyd did it at Clemson,
right,
and he stayed healthy all year. I think in modern football, you got to do it.
4 carries for Driscoll in this game. He had only 7 in the previous 2 games. He'll do a quick screen to the Bows. That is the first catch of the season for the Bows. And Trey DePriest, number 33, makes sure there is nothing after the catch.
You know, let's go back. I mean, I get it. You don't win at Florida, people yell at you. But I tell you, any head coach in this league that loses their starting quarterback 2 out of the last 3 years is going to struggle in this league. And it's just happened to Florida.
After the loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Stunts defensively. That one incomplete, intended for DeMarcus Robinson. Third and 13. Chaz Green injured. Second play of the game. Left tackle. He's back on the field. Sore ankle, however.
3rd and long last time Alabama blitzed. Will they do it again? No. Just bring 4.
Driscoll deep. Intercepted. Picked off at the 19 at the 15-yard line. Jabril Washington. There is a flag.
Illegal formation. Number 75, White. That penalty is declined. First down.
Wow. One of those things that I wish they'd call more of. Chaz Green, number 75, was too far in the backfield on the play. They called it on Green right there, an illegal formation. There's the interception. Driscoll tries to throw it right down. And as we said before, with Kenyon Drake, you get some good, you get some bad. Washington got burned for the TD before. Now he comes back and makes the good play on this one.
Pittman was the intended receiver. Left side, it's Yeldon. Keanu Neal, number 42, has one of the Florida touchdowns with a fumble recovery.
You can see both teams are running the modern offense. Basically 3 wide receivers, a tight end, quarterback in the shotgun. But neither team is trying to go fastball. They're just trying to call plays at the line of scrimmage.
Sims caught. DeAndrew White.
Yeah, Sims is pretty impressive, I have to say, out here today. You know, there was a lot of questions coming out of spring football when he did not have a final great spring football game. And with Jake Coker coming in, you thought it was going to be handoff to the Florida State transfer, and Sims is beating them out.
They come near side. That's a 4th catch for DeAndrew White. Tackled by Mike Taylor. 25 seconds to go. The possession chart so far. Look at the 2 big plays. My goodness. 87 and 79. One caught by Kenyon Drake and one by Amari Cooper. That should be the final play. First quarter. Well, maybe one more. Then again, maybe not. That is the end of the first with our score 14-14. Florida, Alabama will return to Tuscaloosa after this message and a word from your local station. We're back at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa, quarter number 2. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce with you. An early season significant game for both of these teams, both of whom come in undefeated. Alabama 3-0, Florida 2-0. Blake Sims, look at that.
That's good, right? I think that's pretty good.
You know, I could project that he's going to throw for 800 yards. And second down and 5. Well, we didn't expect this, I don't think.
No. Well, I didn't. You know, I mean, those are pretty nice when you get those guys wide open for touchdowns like that. I think the thing that sets for me, two things. Blake Sims, pretty good football player.
You bet.
Okay? And the Florida receivers are better than we've seen the last 3 years. Now, catch the ball. They've dropped one. Driscoll has to make the proper reads. Jeff's got to get into his football game just a bit more. And I think they still need to continue to pound between the tackles for Florida.
Third down 5. Sims 10 of 12, as you heard. That's a whoa, and that's going to be a reaction to that.
Bronx cheer.
O.J. Howard, really a terrific tight end. That is his first catch of the season.
Well, he's an elite athlete playing tight end. We saw it a year ago as a true freshman, and has not only been targeted, one ball thrown to him prior to that all season, and that ball was intercepted. So he's off for 2014 now, and he's got his catch, and all's well. The radio show will be easy to do for Nick Saban.
That's right. And we'll elaborate on that comment in a second. Here's Fowler coming back, the fullback. Right side, Yeldon.
Nice pursuit.
And let's go down to Allie LaForce.
I have a couple of injury updates, starting with Trenton Brown, the offensive lineman. He had a right ankle injury. They taped him up on the outside of the shoe, but he got up and tried to move around. He couldn't even move around, so they put him on crutches and carted him off the field. Also, running back Mark Herndon suffered what appeared to be a right knee injury. He is out for the rest of the game and was also carted off.
All right, Allie, thank you. Here's Sims off balance, but gets the ball to Amari Cooper again.
He is quick with that football in his bootleg package. I want to talk about Lane Kiffin again. He's never run the no huddle in his career as an offensive coordinator or as a head coach. He's never had it. With this offense, he thought it fit Blake Sims better to do it. Calling plays, reading defenses, the whole thing. And you can see that quick trigger that Blake Sims has. He's pretty much of a weapon here. He is the star of the game so far in my mind.
Kenyon Drake, fumble.
Another one.
Picked up and returned. It's Dante Fowler. Then the ball is loose again. Let's have a rugby scrum.
And Fowler ended up with it.
Holy cow.
This play was discombobulated from the start. The quarterback runs into the running back. It's going to be the quarterback keep. He runs into him, never handles the ball. Pressure inside on the play. And then it goes from one guy to the next guy to the next guy.
And finally, Fowler
ended up with it.
That's 3 lost fumbles for...
Wow. You just do not see this in an Alabama team. Yeah. A.J. McCarron right now is saying, I remember that speech.
Mm-hmm. So Sims hears about it, takes his seat. And Dante Fowler Jr., it was Leon Orr, number 8, who got in and messed things up for Alabama. Now Driscoll, 14-14 game. They test the middle. It's Kelvin Taylor, number 21.
Yeah, this was going to be a quarterback designed run. Popped out of his hand on the inside of the play. The play was actually made by Leon Orr to begin the play, and then Fowler gets it. Boy, I know Nick's yelling at him, but when you get a defensive lineman in there that fast, you're just not ready as a quarterback. That's a lot of people's fault, more than just Blake Sims.
5-man rush, second down. Driscoll goes right side. No. Almost intercepted by Landon Collins, number 26.
Big time play by Landon Collins that time. For me, that was going to be the toughest position. Well, there was actually two tough positions I thought Alabama's defense was going to have to replace. The two playmakers, Clinton-Dix at that high safety, where Landon Collins was just playing right there, and C.J. Mosley, the middle linebacker. You know, Clinton-Dix was almost like an elite corner playing safety.
3rd down 9. 4-man Alabama rush. Driscoll goes across the middle. Kelvin Taylor at the 20-yard line. That'll be 30-yard line, rather. That's short. Landon Collins against. There is a flag down. And we're going to have a little conference.
Would be a 48-yard field goal. So Nick has to decide if it's on Florida whether to go backwards for it and give him another try for a 1st down. That's what he's deciding right now.
Well, the career long for Frankie Velez is 44 yards against LSU a year ago.
That's assuming it's on Florida.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Thank you.
Ineligible player downfield, number 63, offense. The pass was caught beyond the line of scrimmage, and therefore he is not eligible to be downfield. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Oh, he's going to march him back 5 yards. That's confidence in your defense. He's protecting 3 points. Does it cost him 7 points?
3rd and 14. 3 wides to the right side, 1 to the left.
By the way, Tyler Moore, number 73, is replacing the injured Brown that Allie told you about.
Alabama brings 5 defensively, got him from behind. That was DJ Petway, number 57. 4th down.
That was a little everything. Nick Saban gambled on his defense, and it came out to happen. Inside, he's playing tackle position right there. A little bit of an exchange that time, a cross stunt for the pass rush. And by the time Driscoll picks out a receiver, which would not have been a 1st down anyway, the ball gets knocked out of his hand. Good defense by Alabama. Good stop, Vern, excuse me,
yeah, it was.
After the turnover by the defense on everything considered.
Well, Christie, this will be a short punt. Pooch, as they say. And it's very effective.
So,
fair catch taken at the 11 by Christian Jones. Under 12 to go 1st half. That was a 28-yard punt. Mondays tonight for the Big Bang Theory season premiere. Don't miss 2 new back-to-back episodes on its new night this Monday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. This is called a segue. The biggest bang thus far in the game has been made by Amari Cooper. 6 catches already. That gives him 39 on the season. He's pretty good.
Yeah. As you look at these deep balls, and the ball's on the 10-yard line, if I'm Florida, I think for this 1st down play, I might put a guy really deep. Yes. That just...
That's a pretty good idea. That's Hargrave's number 1 on Cooper. And the deepest Florida defenders at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's what I'd do. He's deep.
Yeah, center fielder. And this is T.J. Yeldon, number 4. Nice tackle.
Nope.
Oh, nice almost tackle.
That was pinball. Most guys would go down. I agree with that. That's really a shocking. I mean, as many yards as Alabama's piled up here, you can't blame them. I mean, when you throw one pass, it goes for a touchdown. It's hard to run the ball. But, you know, Alabama right now has not been able to. Was his knee down? That was the thing. Vern, you might be right anyway on this thing.
And Hargrave's injured. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if his knee went down or not, but number 1 is shaken up.
Yeah.
And with the new, concussion procedure, you're not going to just be able to run right back in the game if you're shaken up. If it's first of all, Yeldon keeps his balance, yes. And
he heads to the sideline. Not at all sure what happened. Second down, 5. Ryan Kelly over the ball at center. Marcus May is now on the field, number 20. He spots Cooper. Blake Sims looks for Cooper. Goes deep. Double coverage. Cooper. Oh, he almost had it. Keanu Neal was deep. Marcus May was deep.
Well, this safety now is about 20 yards deep at the snap. He's at least 18 to 20 yards deep. And that's why he actually backing up before the snap on the play. And that allows Neal to get over and get in on the play. I don't think if he wasn't there, I think Cooper would have come up with this catch because it was Neal's knee that came across Cooper that actually caused the incompletion at the end of the play.
Hargraves, bottom of the screen, is back on number 1. Sims goes to the short receiver. That's Christian Jones in the slot. He makes the catch.
And that's Hargraves back in the game to make the play. He sticks his head in there, I'll tell you that.
Yes, he does. Sophomore out of Tampa. And it'll be 4th down. J.K. Scott, who's a true freshman, his first punt of the season went 61 yards. And this will only be his 4th punt of the year. Andre DeBose is deep.
It's about 50-yard line, I think, by the time it ends up.
Last time I'll brag on him.
Yeah, it is. Jeez.
Short punt. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC will continue after this word from your local station. The year was 1998. I got it wrong, but I do know the answer now. First down and 10. I hate to see the Duck have to work hard like that. Right. It's never a pretty sight. Out of the gun, Driscoll. 14-14. He keeps it. Reggie Ragland, number 19.
Yeah, again, it was a pulled quarterback keeper the whole way. Coming across, Trip Thurman was kicking out. The end man on the line of scrimmage that time, Ryan Anderson, and just a positive first down play. Again, Jones and Taylor only have 6 carries so far in this game.
Tevin Westbrook, number 87, the tight end in motion. Taylor drops it.
My
Double recovery. Reggie Ragland for Alabama.
Holy cow. This is getting to be at the edge now with all the mistakes and the big plays and the fumbles. Both of these teams would have trouble beating a good team today, the way they're playing. You can't give all the credit to the defense. That's just
no.
That's just a horrible football play right there. Bumps into his own player, bumped into Westbrook, caused the fumble. And we saw the greatness it takes to knock off Alabama.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And so, a 14-14 game. Florida loses it. 5 turnovers already in the first half. I formation. Derrick Henry. And after that carry. Let's go back to New York and say hello once again to Adam Zucker.
And hello to you, Vern. The defending SEC East champs, though, are in trouble at home. Missouri trailing Indiana, who scores on 4th and goal with D'Angelo Roberts. 14-7 right now. Hoosiers on top. Back to you.
That's close to an "are you kidding me?" Here's Sims. Nice move. Wow. Hit out of bounds. Yep. Darius Cummings was about 5 yards into the Alabama sideline.
You know, I'm trying to say before I see the replay that he lost his balance. Cummings did.
Okay.
Let's see if it holds up. Steps out of bounds. Here comes
After the play,
Cummings.
personal foul, laid it out of bounds, number 55.
I don't think he lost his
Defense,
balance.
15
Can't help
yards,
you, Darius.
automatic first down.
I can't help you. I'm sorry. I can't help you. When you ducked your helmet there at the end, can't help you. No, can't help you.
Nope. And so the sticks are moved after the personal foul on Cummings. Ryan Kelly getting ready to lean over the ball. And Derrick Henry is the running back. They use 3. Yeldon, Kenyon Drake, and this man. Cuts it back. Oh, boy!
That was Neal again. Keanu Neal.
I haven't seen his strut quite like that.
Yeah, well, he hit a big man here. Henry sees him, gets a bit of a help because he was already being tackled a bit by McAllister, number 14, but he finished it nicely.
Here's Sims out of the backfield. Jalston Fowler inside the 10. Fullback.
Well, when you play a Lane Kiffin offense, he did it at Tennessee, he did it at USC. You better be ready to cover the fullback and the tight ends in the flat. It's a staple of the offense.
First down and goal.
That looked bad.
Whoa.
They tried to go fast one time.
False start on the offense. The whole line of scrimmage moved prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Alabama wanted to show that they could do this stuff too. We could go fast. We could just like everybody else, and it backfired. Lane threw up his hands, got an earful from Nick Saban, and they got it back to the 13-yard line.
And the Verizon Red Zone stats: 19 trips, 12 touchdowns. That equals the national average. After the penalty, first and goal.
Cooper's in the slot, right there.
Yep. Henry. Downed at the 2.
We were watching, a few friends watching the Alabama-Oklahoma Bowl game, and as Henry was running, we were going, when did Earl Campbell come back?
He looks the part, doesn't he? 6'3", 241 pounds. Play action, Sims. Chase to the right. Sidearms it. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Jalston Fowler, Alabama touchdown.
What a great play by Fowler. He knew he could not take another step, so he put his heels in the ground and waited for the ball as he fell backwards. The fullback said it's a staple of this offense. There he is. Throw it to him, throw it to him, throws it to him late. He knows, and he just falls back on the play.
Pretty heady, yes.
Yeah. Jalston has lost 15 pounds this year. I was talking about practice, and I go, oh, money year, huh? You want to get ready? Look good.
Moving on the field was a touchdown. That play is under further review.
Well, you see the two officials collaborating on the call, and confirmation given that what they both saw were his heels down inbounds.
Give me the ball. Give me the ball. I know I'm close. Now, it was his left heel down before his right heel. He catches the ball right there. So his left heel's in before his right heel hits. That's the way I see it.
And the call again was touchdown.
Yep.
And the two officials in collaboration.
Look at the angle of his left foot as he tries to keep his ankle locked as he keeps it on the ground as he accepts the ball. If he had not done that, that foot would have come up in the air. I don't have that kind of flexion in my foot anymore.
Again, the replay official is Ben Oldham. Saw him before the game, and as I do every time we see a replay official, may you have a quiet afternoon.
Right. Remember, it has to be indisputable.
Yep.
For him to change it. Was the heel on the ground? I think you got to say it was.
I do too.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
And so Driscoll gets ready for his next opportunity. Adam Griffith is on to try the extra point. He's perfect so far this year. Now 18 of 18. That was a heads-up play by Jalston Fowler. Second touchdown catch for the fullback this season. Blake Sims, what kind of afternoon are you having? Well, I'm 15 for 19 for 323 yards. Pretty good so far. They call themselves Scorpion, for the smartest people in the world working together to fight threats against America. Inspired by a true story, Scorpion premieres this Monday after The Big Bang Theory, only CBS. 21-14.
You know, it's been a game of tremendous physical ability out here so far, okay? And a bunch of bad plays, okay? Pretty entertaining, though, I would say, right?
It sure is.
Both teams are going, God, if we just would have played our normal game.
This is the boot. Andre DeBose, number 4, will bring it out. And he won't bring it out very far. Well, the answer to the Aflac question, and it's who was the last quarterback for Florida to win at Alabama? It's not that guy.
But we wanted to show him anyway.
Well, of course. You know, we were accused of being in his corner a couple times.
Right.
23 games we did at Florida while Tebow was the quarterback.
Jesse Palmer. Wow.
How about that?
Whatever happened to Jesse Palmer?
Don't do that to me. First down and 10.
That's not nice. They invited me on their network today.
I heard that. Yeah. Did you do well?
I'll find out.
Okay. Kelvin Taylor, number 21.
Let's look at Florida right now and see how fast they want to go. They don't want to give the ball back to Alabama. Wouldn't go too fast. But, you know, when you think about it for Will Muschamp's team, it was 14-14. Florida gets the turnover, forced to punt, then the short punt by Alabama, and on second down, they fumble it back to them. When they had a chance to take this game and go into halftime with a lead, they just didn't do it.
Driscoll. Nice throw, nice catch by Clay Burton. That's the tight end's second catch. Reggie Ragland.
Well, Jeff Driscoll was brought in to run a type of this offense. Throws well in the run, baseball player, good athlete. You know, wasn't used to the pocket pass read game that Charlie Weiss brought to it. And he was a little young then, too, when he had to play when Brantley got hurt. And, you know, with Brent Pease, it just didn't work out because of the injury. So now he's got something, I think, with this offense that fits his style better.
6:33 to go, and they will bring the chain from across the field. Well, Jeff Driscoll was the #1 rated high school quarterback when he signed with Florida. Made his first appearance when John Brantley went down with an injury. Brantley had thrown an 80-yard touchdown. This is back in 2011, Will Muschamp, and the injury happened, looked at Driscoll and said, "Get your helmet." And
Right.
Jeff said, "What?"
Yeah.
And admits that he hadn't prepared, he wasn't ready, and he did not play well. Fumble, 2 of 6 throwing the ball. He had one 31-yard run.
Well, I think maybe a little fair is he didn't really know how to prepare.
Okay.
He didn't really know what it took to be a quarterback that early in his career.
Out of the gun on first down 10. He has time. He goes right side.
Beautiful.
Oh, boy. Bobbled by DeBose.
I wonder if the sun got him. He was looking right back into the sun late afternoon. It's the exact angle of the shadows. If you look at the shadows on the field, see the angle of the shadows? So he's looking back at it, hits him in the head.
I bet it did.
Totally misjudged it.
Yep.
He did not see that football, and it surprised him at the end.
Maurice Smith was defending number 21.
Yeah, that should have been caught.
Now, we haven't mentioned Nick Perry not playing in the first half, sitting out because he was called for targeting the other night. That one's incomplete. So Geno Smith got the start at safety for Nick Perry. And here's the play. Nick Perry in a game that was out of reach. Southern miss, and there's the targeting. He has to sit out the first half of this game, number 27.
Yeah, and without Jarek Williams already and losing Clinton Dix from a year ago, that was a position they needed all hands on deck.
So that is why Smith is on the field along with Geno Smith. Third down 10. Driscoll flushed right. Short of the first down.
That's where Jeff needs to live for another day. That's where you look, you got to think. You got to be aggressive. But that was not going to pick up a first down, and he did not need to take that hit on the sideline. He had no chance. Here comes Trey DePriest. He gets caught taking on a linebacker and almost gets bent very awkwardly again. That's how you lose that ankle like that. That's where you got to be careful and smart. Use the physical plays when you need them. Stay healthy when you don't have a chance.
Kyle Christie, 2 punts of 58 yards already in the game. This is another nice high punt. Christian Jones, no fair catch, and he's down inside the 15-yard line. Valdez Showers, number 10. That's a 53-yard punt. Alabama's got it back. 5:34 to go. (21-14). Alabama has the ball in the lead. A game which is featured among other aspects 5 turnovers so far.
Some bad ones, some good ones. Got to give credit to the defense on the first 2 Florida turnovers. They caused them to start the game. That's a decent throw, but well played in the secondary by Alabama. That Florida causes another one. Penetration inside causes another turnover. And then the last one is the worst of the day. Florida just drops a ball handling play.
And so Alabama has the ball 21-14, 5:34 to go. Each of those turnovers led to a touchdown. Sims has been terrific. TJ Yeldon is the running back. And they will play fake. Sims looks deep. Oh, he had DeAndrew White, and he couldn't get the ball to him.
Yeah,
but
good job right there.
Sims can run it.
Yes, he can. Blake Sims, I couldn't believe this when I read it. He dunked a basketball when he was in 8th grade. He was 5 feet 8 inches tall. 8th grade. The type of athlete he is. He's played safety and running back here at Alabama.
Yeldon tries to bounce outside, and 3 men go after him. How tall was he?
5 feet 8 inches tall. Just maybe a little taller than you. No, a little less than
yeah. Can you top this? When I was working in Dallas, somebody called me. This kid named Spud Webb.
Yeah.
Was a 5'4" sophomore in high school.
Basketball player, though.
Yeah, well, 5'4".
Yeah, I know. He turned out pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
Big third down play for Florida. Remember, Alabama gets the ball to start the second half. They keep the drive alive. They could get back-to-back possessions.
Third down 3. Play action again. Sims bumps, lets it go. Caught. That's Amari Cooper.
That's a nice reload by Blake Sims. Was going to go downfield first. Thought he had it. Nope. Waited for the second receiver and delivered it. Also have to give, where's that Florida pass rush? We thought that that was going to be a factor in the game. That Florida had to affect the quarterback with the athletes up front. The Alabama offensive line has not let them get near Blake Sims.
Now, we have not called Dante Fowler's name much at all, only on a fumble recovery. 11 first downs now. Play action again. Sims. There's Fowler. Here's the sidearm pass, and it's caught.
He's quick with that ball, isn't he?
Yes, he is. DeAndrew White. Fowler, number 6.
Yeah, when you went out to practice, Vern, on Thursday, the only player on the scout team for Florida that Alabama was facing had a number 6 on. Everybody else, it didn't matter. They wanted to know where number 6 was. That's who they circled.
Blake Sims is 17 of 21 for 335 yards. He gets it to Henry, and Henry goes nowhere. Mike Taylor with the tackle. Let's go to the studio for this Heisman Watch presented by Nissan. Here's Adam Zucker.
All right, Vern, thanks. A good day for Kenny Hill's numbers. First half action against SMU. A 70-yarder here to Josh Reynolds. 265 yards and 2 touchdowns passing in the first half, though he did throw his first pick of the year. Expecting big numbers for Marcus Mariota against Washington State tonight. Nick Marshall came through in the clutch for Auburn on Thursday.
All right, Adam, thank you. I've noticed a quiet campaign to mention Amari Cooper in the Heisman look.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's got pretty good numbers so far in the game.
Alabama took a timeout. I don't know if they just wanted to talk it over. Again, another key short yardage play on third down to keep the ball the rest of the half. That's DJ Durkin in the orange shirt, the defensive coordinator for Florida. A lot of strategy. A lot of things going on. We'll be right here.
Welcome back to Bryant Denny. Coming up at the half, the Geico halftime report. We'll go back to the guys in the studio. Adam Zucker, Spencer Tillman, Brian Jones. Get you up to date on everything going on here in almost late September. Yeldon, the running back. Jalston Fowler also.
In Wildcat.
And Yeldon's in the Wildcat. They'll keep it. That last surge will get him a first down. Clock will stop with 2:46 to go in the half.
Well, we've been seeing this a lot. Remember, it started at Arkansas. We saw it here at Alabama. Remember Mark Ingram in that football game when he ran for 200-plus yards to ice the game? So, you know, everybody has it in their repertoire nowadays.
Blake Sims back at the quarterback spot on first down and 10. 21-14. The Crimson Tide scored on their first offensive play of the game, 87 yards. That was to Kendrick Drake.
Florida's confused in the secondary. Hargraves is trying to move people and cannot get it right.
And so, oh boy, and DeAndrew White should have had the reception, and then Brian Poole might have had the interception.
Marcus May, number 20, and Hargraves are very confused prior to the snap. Blake Sims decides to go the other direction with the football, throws it behind, and Poole almost gets a cheapie.
Second and 10. Alabama has 2 timeouts remaining. Florida has all 3. He's having some day, isn't he? That's DeAndrew White.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Wow.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when you talk to the Alabama people, they questioned whether Blake was going to be able to do it. He struggled in spring practice. He actually dipped in fall practice, and there was a lot of thought in the Alabama camp that Jake Coker was going to go right by him. He was coming on strong. Then all of a sudden, in the last fall scrimmage.
Illegal touching. Number 2 on the offense. The player went out of bounds, came back, and was the first to touch the ball. We have a loss of down at the spot of the foul.
He goes out freely under his own. So just to finish up here before we get to, as we watch him go out of bounds, if you're not shoved out, and I couldn't tell if Poole had gotten a hand on him before he came back in. It did not appear to be. We saw the end of the play. We didn't see him kind of blocked on the play whether we got out. But Sims had a final really good scrimmage, and basically from there can't take the job away from him.
Yep. Coker, the transfer from Florida State, essentially hasn't played in 4 years, but was heavily favored to win the quarterback spot. Here's a little screen pass. It's incomplete.
Yeah.
I thought...
nice read that time by Leon Orr.
Lane Kiffin was remarkably candid with us yesterday and said he came in the 8 days before they went to Oklahoma or went to the Sugar Bowl to watch their practice.
Right.
He said, because I had nothing else to do, having been fired at Southern Cal. And he said when he watched Blake Sims then, he thought no. And then Sims, as Gary just said, he turned it all around.
Right, and Lane didn't take credit for it. He said the kid did it himself. The light went on, and he just found it. Big stop by Florida, and they've still got time to put points on the board now.
J.K. Scott. That's a little bit. Whoa, wow.
That's such a gamble to let that ball roll like that.
57-yard punt. DeBose let it go by.
Yeah, if that's stopped inside the 5, Florida has to just give up the half, basically. Now they've got an offense possibility.
Driscoll has had a tough afternoon.
Well, you know, there have been some drops and some plays that just happen. Here's the one in the sun in the last series. Gets DeBose right in the head. Then he gets an open throw and sails it right over Robinson's head, and then has to leave the pocket and kind of gets caught in between and takes a hard hit. I said Jeff Driscoll had to be the best quarterback on the field for Florida to win. His stats don't look it, but remember a week ago against Kentucky, he struggled in the first half and then found it in the second half to finish off the game. He's going to have to do that. Still got time here in the first half, obviously.
Yeah, he was 7 of 20 in the first half against Kentucky. They'll keep it on the ground on first down, and they don't get much. Jaron Reed, number 90. Take a look at these numbers against Kentucky as they go with a hurry up.
Yep, so you can see it. Everybody's kind of wondering, uh-oh, what is going to happen? And then in the second half, he finds a touch, produces the scores.
Second down, 9. 1:20 to go. Florida has all 3 timeouts, and there's no sense of urgency here, is there?
They won't. Only if they have a chance to pick up a first down will they try to. They want to bleed out the clock and get out of the half now, unless they pop a run.
Matt Jones, number 24, goes right. Reggie Ragland, number 19.
You know, and it's also just in between now that Nick won't dare call timeout either. Both sides, I think, will just say, all right, let's just get out of here. As many balls has been dropped on the ground here, both sides would say, let's talk this over. Still anybody's game, obviously.
Sure.
If they don't make it, will Alabama take a timeout and force the opportunity to block a punt?
Run all the way, and they do not get it. Only 9 seconds to go. See what Saban has in mind. I think he's going to
let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Blake Sims for the half, 17 of 23 for 335 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let's go down to Allie LaForce, who is with Will Muschamp.
Coach, your defense has forced turnovers, but what defensive breakdowns have you seen that have allowed for Alabama's big plays through the air?
They got a good matchup on the first play. They ran a double move. We bid on the double move, and then we busted a cover. Should have rolled to the middle of the field over number 9. We didn't roll the middle of the field. Other than that, we're holding in there pretty well.
Driscoll just 5 for 17 with a pick. What do you tell him at the half?
Well, we can still run the ball. We need to stay with the run a little bit more to continue to take some shots. We've had a couple drops. We missed the one deep ball on their sideline.
Thanks, Coach.
Get the idea Will wanted to get into the locker room in a hurry?
I'll say this, though. He remembered the plays pretty darn well.
Yeah, he did. 21-14. The end of the first half, the score 21-14. Now let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio.
All right, thanks, Vern. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Spencer, Brian, and I will tell you about big-name teams winning big today after this word from your local station.
We don't do it for the fame, we do it for the rain, we do it for the love of the game. Come on.
And we welcome you back to Bryant-Denny Stadium on the campus of the University of Alabama, with the Crimson Tide leading the Gators 21-14. Now let's go inside the headset, powered by AT&T, official sponsor of the SEC. Here's Allie LaForce.
Coach, the 3 fumbles in the first half, 2 that led to touchdowns. How did you address those at halftime?
Well, you know, we didn't execute very well on offense. Didn't have much consistency. We made a couple big plays, but the turnovers are absolutely killing us. Ball security was a big issue in this game because they're a ball-hawking defense. So we just need to do a better job of doing what we do and executing better in this half.
Coach, thank you. Good luck in the second half.
All right, Allie, thank you. 21-14, those 5 turnovers, so significant in the game. Alabama will receive to open the third quarter. Remember back, they won the coin flip, deferred the options, so they are set to go. Christian Jones, one of the 2 deep men. And the kick, that will not be returned. Along with Allie LaForce, Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, what struck you most about what we saw?
Well, Vern, let's start with the big plays. Each team has had big plays, some blown coverages, some big plays with turnovers. And then we saw Blake Sims have the great half, throwing for 3 touchdowns. But let's throw the big plays out for Blake Sims, the 2 bombs, okay? He still was 15 for 21 for 169. So you can see, yes, we had some big plays for Alabama, but he was efficient throwing the ball. The better quarterback on the field was Blake Sims.
And you said at the outset of this game, you thought if Florida was going to win the game, Jeff Driscoll had to be the best quarterback.
Yeah, and he's got to get, he's got to get his team to catch the ball a little bit better.
True, right.
Pick the right receiver. Everything's got to fit together, and I think I agree with Will. They got to be able to run the ball between the tackles.
Here's Cooper. Got it. Are you kidding me?
Hey, that's best against best, too,
yes,
by the way.
That was Hargraves.
Yep. How about a beautiful throw, too? And, for if you're Hargraves, you tip your hat to that. You force the fade throw down the sidelines.
5 players in the backfield.
Whoa.
On the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Big mistake.
Replay first down.
Did not see that.
I didn't either.
Illegal formation. Did they call it on the offensive lineman? Yes, here's the mistake right here. This guy should be up on the line of scrimmage. They do have 5 people on there. You look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people in the backfield.
And that wipes out a 32-yard gain, a perfect throw, and an equally nice route run by Cooper.
So, that didn't happen, what you just saw. Didn't happen.
Erase. Yeldon, good block from Fowler, but only a 2-yard gain. Well, how about halftime trends, Garrett?
Well, you got to nod. I went into the booth next door, Vern, and saw Joe Namath, and I said, "Hey, Joe, how would you like to throw the ball like that?" He goes, "That was fun." He goes, "That was." He talks better than I do. He's cool, you know. Jeff Driscoll, as we saw, some good throws, some drops. Amari Cooper had that first half with the big play, and then the turnovers. Obviously, is going to be the last one.
Well, let's go back to Cooper one more time.
Yeah.
But before we look at that again, how about completing the trends?
And we talked about it, the 5 turnovers that all led to touchdowns. And that was a bit easy for that Florida defense to give up a first down on a throw like that. You think that's where your defense, the pride of Will Muschamp's team, needs to stop in those long yardage situations.
Gain of 11, first down 10. They'll feed Yeldon again. Joe Namath, by the way, is here as a part of the reunion of the 1964 Alabama team. 50 years. There he is. Looking good, as they say.
Yeah, and this is his daughter over here, and I assume that's the granddaughter.
I think so, yes. Yeah. Now, it's always fun to see him back here. Oh, intercepted. Morrison has it. Morrison inside the 20. The linebacker. Neron Ball, number 11.
Second forced turnover by Neron Ball. Deflects it up in the air, and Morrison's the first one to adjust it, trying to get the ball to Fowler again to the flat. And when you don't throw it around those tall defensive ends or outside linebackers, Ball actually almost made the second play for a touchdown for the defense. And now, remember the last turnover, Florida did not score when they had the short field. Let's see if they can do it this time.
Well, they start at the 16. Here's Driscoll. They'll test it. Kelvin Taylor goes right. Landon Collins, number 26. Tony Brown is one of those as a part of the tackle. And take a look at the Florida red zone stats presented by Verizon. 14 trips inside the 20-yard line. 7 touchdowns. That's a little below the national average. 2nd and 8.
3 wide receivers and a tight end in the game.
Quarterback draw. Driscoll. Driscoll, touchdown, Florida. Trip Thurman, number 63, led the way offensively up front. 14 yards and a TD.
Well, Jeff's had his best ability to run the ball between the tackles. And this was beautifully designed, and I think Vern got the best block call on that one, because Thurman is the guy that got the key block, and Driscoll showed his speed. Why he was originally recruited by Urban Meyer for the spread option game. Right there.
Velez for the tying point. It is up and it is good.
I don't recall a game where I've seen 6 turnovers that lead to 6 touchdowns before.
A little smile on the face of Will Muschamp. The ball tipped. The interception from Morrison. The touchdown run from Jeff Driscoll. We're tied in the 3rd quarter in Tuscaloosa. Blake Sims on the left had a ball tipped, and it was intercepted by Morrison, the linebacker. That set up a 14-yard touchdown run from Jeff Driscoll. And we are notched at 21, 12:42 to go. 3rd quarter of play. Christian Jones and Landon Collins deep this time. Austin Harden will kick off. There's Jones. Returnable from the 5. Jones gets a good block from Collins. Wow. Comes around the corner. Excellent return. And did you see Landon Collins, number 26, provide help? That's a return of 28 yards.
Christian Jones, we saw it last year with returns for touchdowns, punts, and kickoffs. Collins gets the big block to get outside, and then Jones uses his speed to get to the outside and get field position. 34-yard line. Remember the last drive, as Vern started the second half calling the pass to Cooper and the illegal formation. So two, big mistakes for Alabama in the last drive. Self-inflicted punishment, lining up in a wrong formation and then turning it over on the back end.
Tie game, first down 10, Crimson Tide 34. Hand off to Yeldon.
Nothing big gouging, is there?
Nope. Joey Ivy with the tackle, number 91.
If I'm Kenyon Drake, the running back for Alabama, number 17, I'm going, Coach, all right, I had one really big play and had one fumble, and I'm in the doghouse. A lot of other guys are making mistakes out here. Can I get another chance?
Well, he has not had a chance since the fumble. No. Fowler is back on, the fullback, number 45, and Yeldon is the running back. Yeldon's longest gain so far is 7 yards. He'll get another chance, and this one's going to be a little longer than that. Ryan Kelly, number 70, the center, with the block.
Gets it into the second level, and Dante Fowler, then again quiet. This time he gets kind of engulfed by the true freshman Cam Robinson on that play. Cam Robinson, one of the hotly recruited players out of Louisiana that chose Alabama.
Third down and 1.
And a shotgun. Third down in inches and going the Wildcat.
Yep. It's going to be Yeldon.
Yep.
He's got the first down. Now ball security becomes an issue, and he secures it. Mike Taylor made the tackle. And Bullard and Robinson, a couple of, Keith Jackson used to call them the big uglies.
Yes. So obviously that's something a little bit new for Alabama this year when short yardage situations. I wonder if they'll dial this up throughout the whole season. A new way to attack short yardage. Remember that fatal short yardage play against Auburn. 4th and 1 or nothing would have happened when he did not go for the field goal earlier in the game. A different field goal that he didn't try.
Play action Sims. Deep right side. It was Fowler, the intended receiver, and Keanu Neal. Crowd on this side hollering for pass interference. It is not called. Now notice that 4 turnovers, the most since a game at home against, of all people, Kent State.
Yeah. I said I've never seen 6 turnovers lead to 6 touchdowns. I still have never seen it because it hasn't happened in this game. I was informed afterwards that one of them didn't lead to a touchdown. Very good, right? Nice job, Gare.
Don't believe everything you're told. Second down and 10. Sims rolls out of Morrison's reach. He'll tuck it. He can do this well. He's just short of the first down. Oh, they might spot it. Now I think he's about a foot short.
Yep, very nifty. A dimension a little different. He had 3 receivers out there that he could have dished the ball off right to the sideline very easily. Could have gotten rid of the ball and probably picked up the first down anyway to the outside of the formation to Christian Jones. And let's see, the ball's in his right hand. And he goes out right at that line. 3rd and inches.
Well, one of the things that this Crimson Tide team has done well, 6 of 9 on third down conversions. Yeldon is behind Blake Sims. He'll get it. A little stutter step. Another first down. 7 of 10 now. Wow.
Yeah. That is one rule that I think they should look at again. We understand that the push may happen in the natural part of a play, but now the offense is learning to make that part of being taught to push a guy. I think they should revisit that and kind of be more judgmental as Fowler kind of limps off there of how they're going to allow the offensive lineman. Right now, that ball should be blown dead in my mind. Too many things can happen. Susceptible to injuries, and you know why? Well, it's become a technique used by the offense.
Well, and so often you see that result in a scrum,
Correct.
a little shoving, and sometimes fists being thrown.
It used to be illegal to do that.
Sims. Nobody open deep.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that
Alex McAllister, number 14, coming around the blind side.
that is really a lack of a lot of experience by Blake Sims right there. This is just too long to be in the pocket. You don't have that kind of protection. You know, you've got elite athletes that play for Florida. You can't ask your offensive line to block 4 or 5 seconds. That ball, if it wasn't open, needed to be tucked, get up there, and give the offense a 2nd and 10 instead of a 2nd and 18 or 19.
Keep it on the ground. Here's Derrick Henry, number 27. Boy, oh boy, a missed tackle again.
He's a load, though.
Yeah.
He really is a load.
Jabari Gorman, number 2.
Yeah.
Watch him try the tackle.
I mean, nobody
Right
has a clear shot
there.
yet, but there's the big one. Not really completely wrapped up enough, though. You know, you bring it, but you better bring the arms as well.
They're down 12. Wide receivers, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. That's Cooper who starts in motion. Sims across the middle, got him. DeAndrew White, boy, has he been a presence.
You know, when we talked to Cyrus Jones, defensive back for Alabama, we were raving about Cooper. We wanted to hear about Cooper. This is the route right there. We were talking about Cooper, and Cyrus Jones goes, tell ya, DeAndre White ain't bad either. And you could see his athletic ability. Catches the ball, knows he might get hit, and spins forward and knew exactly where the sticks were.
He has 6 receptions today. That equals his season number, all of which were accomplished in the very first game against West Virginia. He went out with a shoulder injury and has missed the last 2. Henry. And for more on Blake Sims, let's go down to Allie LaForce.
Thanks, Vern. When Lane Kiffin first arrived, Blake Sims was reading plays and calling plays off of a wristband. Well, that wasn't working out very well, so Lane Kiffin adjusted with him and said, listen, look over to me every single play. We'll do hand signals, and they've done that from then on. He's been a different quarterback ever since.
Indeed.
Misalignment by Florida. Nice awareness by Blake Sims. Nobody covered the tight end.
O.J. Howard's 2nd catch, only his 2nd of the season.
Yeah, this is bad. This is a total bust. It's the tight end. Nobody out here. No one. And Blake recognizes it, throws it out there at the last second, and gets an easy play. You know, Alabama has thrown the ball so infrequently to the tight end that Florida decided not to cover him on that throw.
That's a tactic. Not a good one, but it is a tactic. Quarterback keeper Sims left, and according to the spot by the official on the top of the screen, he's got the first down.
This is the type of drive you're used to watching Alabama run. Take the clock. One of the reasons Alabama always had good defensive statistics is their offense could grind up the clock, and their defense didn't have to be on the field as much.
First down 10. Tie game 21 all. Kiffin fired at USC, hired by Nick Saban. In the corner, Amari Cooper, 1 for 1. Hargraves was there, but the catch is made out of bounds.
You know what I like about Vernon Hargraves? There's no extra. You know, he doesn't need to tell you how good he is. Plays the ball, knows the field. He's got great football savvy. Understands the field, understands his space on the field. Doesn't have to make any gyrations afterwards. Respects the player he's playing against, doing the job the best he can.
Got a note. Kenyon Drake's back on the field. Yeah. 2nd down and 10. Out of the gun. Did we catch an Alabama lineman?
No, there was an illegal procedure. Somebody moved up front. Yeah.
72 offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Leon Brown flinched. Ever so slightly, but ever so obviously.
Yes, he did. Yes, he just moved,
Right.
just puckered.
There it is.
Yep.
Second down, 15.
Florida has to understand here now with the problems of Alabama's field goal kicking. Get a stop here. You might be able to get a shutdown.
Kenyon Drake is out of the lineup. Why not? Give it to the big guy.
I think Darius Cummings, if he didn't get him along the shoelaces, he might have kept going. I think it's Cummings 55 that just reaches out and just, otherwise he's into the secondary.
At the line of scrimmage quickly. Here's Sims. Got Cooper. Flag. Cooper, touchdown if it stands.
It's going to be offensive pass interference on Cooper. It's coming back. I had my eyes on it the whole way.
Pass interference. Offense, number 9. 15-yard penalty. Still third down.
And again, Vernon Hargreaves is such a mature football player. He's a true sophomore. He knew right away. Again, didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Looked at the official and said, "Are you going to call it?" Right here at the bottom. There's the matchup, man to man. Cooper comes down, shoves off, gets the play, and Hargreaves turns around, looks at the official, and goes, "Yep." I'll give it to Cooper too. Murray just turned around, understood it, say, I tried to get away with one, I didn't. Line up and play it again.
And so it becomes 3rd and 23. Screen pass.
Oh no, what a play.
Derrick Henry to the 20. At the 1.
I have to believe, Vern, that has to be a defensive bust. One player for Florida on that side of the field. On the whole side of the field that time. Someone has to cover that running back on a screen pass on 3rd and very long. Who's going to set up a touchdown most likely?
Well, they rule Henry out at the 3-yard line, not the 1. And it appeared obvious on the replay that he did indeed step out. Henry remains in, gets the toss, goes left. Touchdown, Alabama. Player down as well.
It might be Fowler. Yes, it is Fowler.
Oh, boy. With assistance, he is up.
Yeah, he limped off once earlier in the game. Overloaded to the left, pitch to the left. Big Cam Robinson is getting out in front of it. Good blocking by the tight end Vogler on the play. And you're not going to tackle that guy with arms at all.
That's a very impressive drive. 16 plays, 66 yards. Took 7 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock, and they converted a 3rd and 23 with the screen pass. Adam Griffith's extra point is up and good. Nick Saban's team is on top.
Michael Taylor has the back. The safety, I'm not sure who it is, has the crossing tight end. Only one guy on the field, and he gets caught up right away with inside. The lineman's on him. I think it's Quanjo with the block, and all of a sudden, one-on-one. If you're Michael Taylor and you have Ari Quanjo and Henry in front of you, you don't have much of a chance. Come right back to it with the pitch and a series that Florida should have got out of. They didn't.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Pfizer, Allstate, Bud Light, and by Chick-fil-A. We are back at Bryant-Denny The Florida Gators now trail by 7. 5:27 to go in the third quarter. And what a terrific drive by Alabama. Oh, boy.
It's another mistake. Is so unlike Alabama watching this play like this.
Griffith kicked it out of bounds. That's his first of the season. And it's costly. It will come out to the 35-yard line. (28-21), 5:27 to go in the third. And the Florida Gators come on. Matt Jones, number 24. Now Vernon Hargraves limped off in the screen pass. Let's get more from Alabama.This.
Hargraves just left the trainer's table where they were feeling around on his left Achilles. It appears to be a left Achilles injury. They pulled his sock down, added some extra cushioning, and then he jumped up and started running it off just to try to get loose, but he seems to still be in pain and may just try to play through it for the rest of this game.
All right, Allie, thank you. Hargraves on the bench now as the offense for Florida has the ball. They'll hand it off again. That's Matt Jones one more time. Trade to Priest. Number 33 was there. Third down now for the Gators.
As we are in the 4 minutes to go, time of possession, you look at the plays right there. I was just about ready to say that. 20-4. Amazing. On that last drive for Alabama, they converted third down 5 times.
4 down for Alabama. The blitz coming off the corner, and they got it. Landon Collins. Deft defensive call by Kirby Smart.
Yes, and a little bit too easy to time out. They got a feel for the snap count, did Landon Collins. He knew exactly when it was going to be snapped, and he hit it running in motion, and he was able to take the play from the backside, from behind.
3 and out. It's 4th down. And Kyle Christie on to punt. Christian Jones back to return. Nice, high, deep. Jones will let it bounce. And oh, boy.
Good bounce for Alabama, and a bad one because that was a really nice punt.
57-yard punt, nothing on the return. Landon Collins, key play with the blitz off the corner to deny Florida with a first down. Bama back on the field on offense. 28-21, Alabama with the ball and the lead. And now Red Lobster presents today's scholar athlete, Austin Shepard, offensive lineman, marketing degree. He's one of the graduates for Alabama. He donated his hair to the Jocks and Locks Foundation. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of Alabama's General Scholarship Fund. There's a before and after, and congratulations to Austin Shepard. Hargraves is back on the field.
Yep.
And he's lined up against that guy, number 9.
Dangerous, though, when you start to tweak that Achilles, if that's it. You know, those corners need that speed. It's a long season.
Left side, Derrick Henry, nothing there.
Vern, Lane Kiffin has dialed up over 400 yards passing, only the second time in Alabama history. And, you know, he's the first coordinator that Nick has had here at Alabama that's been on the sideline. And that was by orders from Nick. If you look back, Applewhite, McElwain, and Nussmeier were all upstairs. And he said he needed Lane Kiffin on the sideline. Lane said he had never done it from the sideline before. And Nick said, you better learn. I want you on the sideline.
Second down and 10. Blitz threatened, blitz coming. Marcus May. Sims takes off. Gets a block from Vogler. Gets another block from Cooper. And he's got a first down run, and he's hurt.
See, and that's the type of mental clock you have to have in the pocket. Remember, he got sacked last time. This time, 2 looks. If it's not there, you either have to dump it off to a back in this league, or you have to run the football. And this time, might have landed on that shoulder, a right elbow.
Yep, and he will come off. So Jacob Coker will, with no warm-up.
Yeah, and that's where you got to tell the quarterback to lay on the field, or you're going to have to take a timeout.
So here's Coker. He's played in each game. He was in the battle for the starting quarterback job.
Yeah, that's, you know, we'd always had that rule, you know, playing with the backup quarterback to the starter. Don't be running off if you're hurt. I got to throw a few passes on the sideline. Stay out there. Let the trainers get to you.
Coker backed up Winston at Florida State. He's from Mobile, Alabama, and a highly recruited quarterback. He'll hand it off. Pretty good option on first down. That's Henry.
Jeez.
Boy, is that Henry.
Wow. Wow.
He's a load.
You know, T.J. Yeldon is a great football player. We saw Kenyon Drake's speed. Nice block by Fowler on that play. The fullback, and they get around the corner with Henry. Again.
Cricket. It's Henry again. That's a 12-yard gain on top of a 25-yard gain. And another player, this time for Florida, is down back at the 33-yard line.
Jared Davis, number 40. You know, when you run left, you're running at a true freshman. Number 74, a block down, and he gets the big hit on Morrison, and another, well, almost a big hit the second time. But you're running at number 74, Cam Robinson, twice in a row to that outside.
This is Jared Davis, number 40.
You know, the irony for Coker is if he'd have stayed at Florida State, he'd be starting tonight.
What, something going on at Florida State? (28-21), under 2 to go. Blake Sims injured on that run a couple of plays ago. Chased by Morrison and down. Vernon Hargraves made the tackle.
Yeah, fell right on that right shoulder and right into the locker room.
He's had a brilliant game today, 402 yards passing.
It would, excuse me, Vern, it was always one of the theories by a Nick Saban team. He's never had a quarterback like this, basically. You know, maybe all the way back early at LSU, okay? But here at Alabama, he doesn't want his quarterback taking a lot of hits because he knows he's got a lot of yards throwing the ball.
They keep it on the ground. It's Yeldon. Nice move. Terrific. And he's got a first down inside the 10-yard line, near the 7. Jalston Fowler leading the way, number 45.
Well, nice job by Ryan Kelly that time with the reach block. Austin Shepard. Ari Kwanjo seems solid. His man has been stymied all day in front of him. You know, finally the Alabama offensive line starting to make the plays.
And you see 109 yards rushing, and Darius Cummings bounced across the line and made contact with Ryan Kelly.
Outside defense, number 55. Half the distance to the goal remains first down.
I think it was the hand of left tackle Cam Robinson that was pointing out a block that peripherally The Florida player saw it and jumped off sides.
Fowler and Yeldon in the I formation on 1st and goal. Coker is the quarterback. Howard tight to the right side. Play action. Coker.
Get rid of it.
Good coverage, and he heaves it over the fence and into the stands, and he took a late hit, but there is no flag. Bullard is the guy who got there.
Well, it was very interesting. Okay, what was that? 1st and goal from the 4. Does that sound familiar to what we saw last week? 1st and goal from the 4. They do not run. Todd Gurley would get the intentional grounding. Right there, almost again, a big sack. That's one of those plays where you call it, it better work, because if you don't run the big guy, they second guess you, I'll tell you that.
Yeldon back in the backfield. Fowler will lead the way on the sweep. Good defensive pursuit by Poole. Oh, boy.
Is it going to be a horse collar?
Let's see.
He has to be inside the shoulder pads to be a horse collar. Let's see if it was. Brian Poole, see if he got his hands in. Yes, I think that should have been called. He yanked him down with it. It was inside, and he yanked him down. That has to be called. Should be 1st and goal from the 2.5-yard line, half the distance.
It was not called. DeAndrew White breaks and goes to the left. Cooper backs off the line to the right. Got him. My gracious.
Boy, there was a lot of hand fighting, and the officials let them fight. Two great players. Let's see who's the best guy. Vernon Hargreaves claps his hands ever like he was better than me on that one, and the ball was thrown perfectly. Watch the fighting. Hand-to-hand combat. That's pretty darn good. That's about as good as you can cover it, too. And I'm telling you, that's as good as you can cover it at any level.
Extra point forthcoming. Adam Griffith. Cooper now 9 receptions, 195 yards. He's got 42 catches for the season, and he had 2 wiped out by penalty in this game.
Amari Cooper starts out the drive by doing the dirty work of the block against the safety, Jabari Gorman. That's what sprung the play. His willingness to get involved in the run game. It was run, run, run all the way down to the goal line. But on 3rd down, they matched it up. One-on-one, fight it out. Hargreaves is there fighting as well as you can. And Coker gets a touchdown pass for Alabama.
21 seconds to go, 3rd quarter, 35-21. And while we were away, Blake Sims came back on the field and received a thunderous ovation. I bet he never dreamed he'd get that kind of reception.
It's 5 years of work to get to this position. And remember, at Alabama, when you're the backup quarterback, they're bringing in every hotshot recruit from all across the country to beat you out.
Here's the kickoff. Andre DeBose will bring it out, but not very far.
You know, I always say, Vern, that football's not for the faint of heart. You know, those are real men down there playing and attacking each other. And quarterback doesn't mix it up as much. I get that, you know, physically. But you can't be weak as a personality to play quarterback, because at this level, for these icon universities at Florida and Alabama, you almost have to win every game. And the competition is unbelievable. The pressure's unbelievable.
Look at that. 402 yards. Throwing the ball. Tevin Westbrook, backup tight end, in motion. Here's Driscoll, rolling right. Drills it. He's got a wide receiver. That's Quentin Dunbar. That is a reception in 31 consecutive games. He's chasing a school record of 35. See if they get the play called. I doubt it. That's the end of the third quarter, dominated by Alabama. They lead at 35-21. We'll return to Tuscaloosa right after this word from your local station. We welcome you back to a sold-out Bryant-Denny Stadium. 101,000 plus on hand. We begin the fourth. First down 10, Florida. They trail by 14. Westbrook in motion to the left side. Blitz from the corner. Driscoll going deep, really deep. Man down there, bump. That'll be a flag. Matter of fact, 3 of them.
Yeah, it's not the worst penalty, though. It's a 15-yard penalty in college. If you're not sure, you know, if the guy's going to catch it or not, you might as well shove him and take the 15 yards. The NFL, that's spot foul.
Yes.
Pass interference defense number 44. That's a 15-yard penalty.
15-yard penalty.
Spot. Automatic first down.
And we begin the fourth here at Bryant-Denny. Alabama 28 plays, 4-6 in the first
And that was
quarter.
with the turnover in that third quarter. You know, I don't know if this is a new era at Alabama. You know, when they get yards against West Virginia and Southern Miss, you say all right. But 545 yards in 3 quarters here by Alabama. They're pretty darn good on the edge of this football team.
Yes, they are. They have a 14-point lead. We're back to play. They'll go deep again. This one is incomplete.
Yeah, and what we missed a little bit also in this football game is that, yes, there's been turnovers by the Alabama offense, but the Alabama defense has held Florida to 146 total yards. You know, that's pretty good. You know, 146 yards against a spread passing team. And there's a lot of talent out there, but this Alabama defense has made a mistake or two, but not that much.
Second down and 10. Quarterback draw again. No way. Jaron Reed, number 90.
And another new part of this Alabama football team is they just keep bringing in waves of defensive linemen. They've retooled this team for the spread fastball attacks, and you'll see 9 different defensive linemen on the field. They'll never use being tired as an excuse again.
Third down 12. 4 wides, 2 on either side. Garcia snaps it back, stunts defensively. Driscoll tipped, intercepted, Landon Collins.
Wow, one-handed.
Still upright. Goes by Robinson defensively. Collins, that will bring a roar from this crowd.
This is just basic, what you call Tampa 2. Only Collins is playing the robber in the middle of the field. He reads the eyes of Driscoll and makes a huge athletic play. Watch Collins right in the middle. He's playing the Brian Urlacher spot. In the middle of the zone, gets up, jumps up, one-handed catch. What a play.
It was intended for Dunbar. How about the grab by Collins? Alabama football.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
Please fasten your seatbelt, get ready for takeoff. Here's the first Alabama offensive play of the game. 87 yards, Kenyon Drake. And that put the Crimson Tide on top, 7-0. Florida came right back. Valdez Showers a 28-yard reception to notch it 7-all. And then Keanu Neal, one of several turnovers in this ball game. The Andrew White fumbled it. Neal picked it up, went 49 yards to give Florida a 14-7 lead. 5 combined turnovers in the first half, any number of which you have seen and will remember. This among the worst. Sims, Fowler. 5 total. And then Amari Cooper, brilliant catch. He was wide open, left down the middle of the field, 79 yards, 14-14. Jalston Fowler, really a terrific sense of where he was, got his heels down. Touchdown, 21-14. Driscoll with a 14-yard rushing touchdown to make it 21-all. And then the third quarter dominated. Here's Derrick Henry. They overcame 5 third downs on this, including a 3rd and 23. That made it 28-21. And then Cooper, 4-yard reception. And that is where we are. And we safely took off. No injuries. Sims back at quarterback. 402 yards passing today. Derrick Henry is the run back. And Henry gets the handoff. Nothing there. Now let's go down to Allie LaForce for an update on Blake Sims.
Blake Sims ran from the training room to a loud ovation from Alabama fans. He walked right over to the bench and went up to each position group, including his offensive lineman, and said, "Guys, I'm good to go." Then Lane Kiffin ran over. He said, "What's the deal?" Blake Sims, "I'm ready to go." And Kiffin said, "Well, then let's go. Get on the bench so we can start game planning and get you back out there as soon as possible." His teammates very happy he's back.
2nd down and 10. White and Cooper both go to the right side. Yeldon is the running back on 2nd down. Blitz threatened from the corner. It's coming. Fowler. They go right over him. Screen pass. Yeldon. All the way inside the 25.
You know, I used to get laughed at a bit. I've always been a big Lane Kiffin fan. You know, even all through his trials and everything, I thought he was a brilliant play caller. I really did. When he was undermanned at Tennessee, remember he took Jonathan Crompton and almost came in here and beat an Alabama team.
Yep, 12-10.
Yes, he has a real knack for calling plays, setting up easy throws for his quarterback. I thought he was really undermanned at USC, and he tried to protect his team by calling plays. Yeah, he's got a bit of a personality. I mean, so does Nick Saban. You know, I mean, so that was, again, the right call at the right time, and it just seems like he's one step ahead as number 1's down on the field. And let's hope it's not anything bad. They need him to finish this year.
Vernon Hargraves, you could argue he's the best cover corner in the SEC.
He's been on and off and on and off.
Yeah.
He throws his body all game. He's not that big. I bet he doesn't weigh, you know, a $190. He's got to be in the 180s at the most.
That was a 37-yard gain as Hargraves limps off the field.
You know, I mean, they might go for the record for Blake Sims.
Sims has thrown for 439 yards. 439. He'll keep it on the ground here to Yeldon.
You know, I feel like Hank Stram are going, they're going to go left, Jack. They're going to go left.
Hank Stram and Jack Buck. Great radio combo.
Yeah.
Boy, were they ever. And a missed tackle from Fowler.
Look at Quanjo and those guys fight I mean, one thing that you love about this Alabama football team when you go to practice or watch them play, you know, they got 85 scholarship players. All 85 of them want to play in the NFL. They're serious down there. They know there's big competition. And as you look at, you know, Lane and Nick, the brain trust, those guys all compete against each other every single minute.
It'll be 1st down and 10. Now, I'll give you some perspective here. Blake Sims now with 439 yards. The school record set by Scott Hunter.
Old teammate.
A few years ago. Well, I'll give you a bonus Aflac trivia question. Name the original 8 analysts when CBS got football in 1982. Obviously, Hunter was one of them. Here's the handoff left side. Derrick Henry, a load.
Vern, I don't
Yes.
even know where my car is at the airport. I'm not going to be able to remember.
Well, there were Pat Hayden.
Okay.
I can't do all of these. Ara Parsegian.
Right.
The late Steve Davis, my partner. Brian Dowling.
Oh, yeah, Brian.
Scott Hunter.
Dennis Franklin?
Dennis Franklin, very good. Yes,
I
Michigan
got help.
great.
Somebody help me on that. No.
Now I'm stuck.
There you go.
Even more of a trivial question of the 8 play-by-play guys.
That's for the bus ride to...
Yeah, you're right. Derrick Henry at the 1.
You know, I have to say, you know, as we talked to Nick Saban yesterday, he said, we're a different team. Our best players are on the perimeter.
Right.
We have to use them. But now that he's used them, he's spread this defense out, and you can see they got 3 pretty good running backs. If Drake ever gets back on the field again, they will have all 3. But, you know, and T.J. Yeldon and Derrick Henry, it might, you know, I mean, I'll give the nod to Georgia slightly on that one.
Yeldon on that one. 11-10 to go. 35-21. It was tied at the half. Dakota Ball, number 94, is in on the goal line offense. And Dominic Jackson, number 76. Will Muschamp's team gouged defensively.
That's as many big guys as you get at the line of scrimmage.
No
right
kidding.
there. That's a max.
That is the elephant. Oh, there was motion.
Another again.
Yeah. Motion. One of those big guys hoisted his rear end before the snap.
Snap infraction, number 70 offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Missed the snap count.
So the 5-yard penalty pushes it back. 10:32 to go. And the ball just outside the 5. There's Scott Hunter, 484 and 69 in the Iron Bowl. 439 today for Sims. We'll try to add to it right now. Fires it. Dropped. Jalston Fowler, who made a terrific catch for a touchdown in the first half.
Kind of had to throw it between 2 players, it seemed to me. It would have been a brilliant catch by the fullback. That would have been a tough one.
See the police officer?
Oh! Yeah, that would have been a tough catch. Well defended by Florida on that one. They were ready for that.
3rd and goal.
When they go under center, they like to throw the fade.
Cooper, touchdown. Really?
It's quicker. You can do it quicker. You got to be ready for it, but how do you stop it? You can know it's coming.
This
Still got to stop it.
This is why you go to practice. Wow.
This time on Poole at the bottom. Oh, that was real easy that time. That's how good Vernon Hargraves is, because that's what Cooper does to normal college football players right there.
Amari Cooper is averaging 11 catches per game in the first 3. He's 1 shy today. He's got 10 receptions, 201 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to get into the final 5 of the Heisman. I know this. He's a first-team All-American.
Well, that may be good enough.
What a show being put on by Alabama. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper. The Home Depot. Outback Steakhouse. And by Napa. Fourth quarter at Bryant-Denny, 42-21, and coming up later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. We have a few selections, many of them involving Amari Cooper. 201 yards today. It's the third best receiving effort in the history of Alabama football. That guy named Julio Jones, 221 against Tennessee. David Palmer, 21 years ago against Vanderbilt. And Cooper today. We still got 10-10 to go. But this second half.
If I was the offensive coordinator, I'd sit next to him too. Makes everything go.
It guarantees a little face time. Here's the kick. Andre DuBose will bring it back. Around the corner and out of bounds. Let's go back to the studio for a Ford update. Once again, here is Adam Zucker.
Thanks, Vern. The defending SEC East champs are trying to keep up with Indiana. Matty Mock to Sean Calkin to tie it up for the Tigers at 24 in the fourth quarter. They go to Columbia, South Carolina next week. Back to you guys.
Adam, thank you. There's one score you have overlooked, and I'm quick to remind you of it. In Division III football today, the Texas Lutheran University Bulldogs, 38-32 over Louisiana College. They're 3-0 under head coach Danny Padron. And I've just taken care of my alumni contribution.
You don't have to give any more. That's it. That would cost about $20,000 to get an announcement
goodness.
like that.
Driscoll. Still running. 9:55 to go in this one. That's a gain of 18.
Well, Jeff, is part of his package is to be able to bring these runs. The other part is to become more efficient throwing the ball as Florida leaves this field and gets ready for the next part of their SEC attack.
High snap. Matt Jones. Well, the Gators' schedule, it's not the easiest you'll ever see.
No, I actually think the key game of the year for them is Tennessee.
Do you?
I really do. That's the game. There's got a lot of tough ones. You know, Tennessee needs to beat Florida. I mean, you know, I really do. And if they go there and beat Tennessee, I think they're going to have a really good year. It's going to be a real battle. Butch Jones will have Tennessee ready for him.
Here's Robinson tiptoeing down the sidelines. That is only his second catch today. He had 15 for 216 last week.
The schedule is very difficult for Florida. They need Driscoll to play at a higher level and get more used to this offense of Kurt Roper's and spread the ball around to, I think, more gifted wide receivers.
First down 10. Driscoll. Oh, boy. Clay Burton, it was a little bit behind him.
Trey DePriest actually did a nice job too, Vern, of cutting across this ball. I think he may have tipped it. I'm not sure. You know, yes, could have been caught. Was it tipped? Can't tell, to tell you the truth on that look, but that was a pretty nice play by a lot of players. Good throw, good play by Trey DePriest.
Second and 10.
He's playing the C.J. Mosley position on this defense.
Here comes the blitz. Ragland, it's tipped. Jaron Reed got a hand up. Xavier Dixon tried to run under it, could not quite get there. Third and 10.
The offensive line has managed to do a decent job. Let those big guys get their hands up.
Third down 10. 3 down for Alabama. They'll bring 4. Driscoll. Intended for Robinson, incomplete. Fourth down.
I don't know. Do you just go for it here on fourth down? You can't really punt the ball here. Just even if you can't win, you need snaps just to get more familiar with the offense against a good football team.
And they will go for it. 4th and 10. Right side. Incomplete. Ball goes over on down.
There's a flag down on the field, though.
Oh, on the far side at the line of scrimmage.
I wonder if Alabama was in the neutral zone. Remember, that's the Florida bench in that official's ear.
Ineligible player downfield, number 30, offense. He was covered by an outside receiver and therefore cannot go downfield. That penalty is declined. Alabama's ball, first down.
That's Goolsby, the freshman third-team tight end.
Yeah, actually, I thought that the formation looked good to me, but it didn't make any difference. It was incomplete anyway. You have to throw the flag, but to me, it looks like it's fine. Oh, then he moves up right at the end. Good call. Mistake by the receiver to the top of the play. Hey, good call.
First down 10, Alabama with a 21-point lead. Thursday, your football week starts here. It's a bitter rivalry thing between the New York Giants and Washington. Another big-time matchup in primetime Thursday night football on NFL Network and CBS. And, of course, a number of SEC players sprinkled throughout the league. But in this game, you'll see Mr. Manning from Ole Miss, Mr. Randall from LSU, Ryan Clark, Perry Riley Jr. representing the Tigers. Blake Sims apparently through for the day. Second highest total. He's 40 yards from breaking the record. Now we're gonna have Jacob Coker on.
Right.
Do you agree with the switch, or would
Absolutely.
you let the guy? You do.
Alabama's trying to win a championship. You got to get your backup quarterback ready. They don't worry about those type of records. If he's a yard or 5 yards, yes. You need to get this guy ready in case there's something happens down the line.
Up the middle, Derrick Henry. He's had quite a day.
Excuse me, Vern. As you said earlier, Jake hasn't really played in 4 years. He needs to get out there. Even the mechanics of calling the plays, getting the signals, being on the field. I think they should dial up a couple passes, too, to tell you the truth. If I was Lane Kiffin, I'd be coaching Coker that this is like, pretend it's real. Pretend we want to bleed the clock and get down there for a last score to kind of take time from the game.
I've just handed the total yards for Alabama. Don't look.
I know.
Don't look.
I know it's over 600.
You got it. Wow.
Oh, my.
Ouch.
That's Gorman again. I love it. Jabari Gorman comes up and plays football. I'll give it to him. Because you know that guy's going forward.
Here's a collision with Gorman and Henry. Goodness. First down and 10. Henry again. Not much this time. Well, we had Gorman on the last tackle. We got a special guest couple with us today. Corey and Megan Garment. He's a wounded warrior. Lost both of his legs. Had an arm injury in July of 2012 in Afghanistan. He and Megan have been with us today.
Yeah, we salute him. Hey, a former quarterback, too. Did you know that?
Ran Urban Meyer's offense in high school. Indeed.
Says he can still throw it, I'll tell you that.
Great to have him in the booth as our guest.
He'd been listening, too, because he goes, Mr. Danielson, I don't know what he calls me. He said, Mr. Danielson, I know you have a formula how to beat Alabama. How's the formula going? I go, well, the turnovers might not work as part of the formula.
Oh, goodness.
Offside. Number 55, defense, came into the neutral zone and caused an offensive player to false start. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Well, about 3.5 hours ago, we started talking about these teams searching for an identity. I think Florida's still searching. But
yeah,
no?
I mean, yes, I agree. I mean, the offense did not show up enough. I thought coming into this game, Kurt Rober believed that he could put, 350 yards on this football team. I think Will Muschamp and DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator, felt that they could slow the passing game down with the skill they had in their young secondary, and it just didn't happen. Even with all the turnovers, it just didn't happen.
Kenyon Drake will get the handoff. Fowler leads him around the left side. Still up. Gets a downfield block from Fowler. How about that?
I've been a big Kenyon Drake fan since I saw him as a scout team runner. He caught my eye as a true freshman when he was being redshirted. I go, who is that fast guy? And even the Alabama starters were saying, oh, no, you don't want to tackle that guy. He is fast. We're just, you know what, I've called down to the truck to get a shot of Kirby Smart, just to get a shot of Kirby Smart. Because we usually do that.
We always do that.
I mean, we just got to get a shot of Kirby Smart just to get it before. We never know if we get it. He's there.
It's like, where's Waldo today?
Exactly.
You know,
and he's usually a big part of our. There's Kirby. He's still here. He's not going to be unhappy with this defense. 175 yards against an SEC team.
Here's the last play. Oh, gosh.
Well, he's still fighting for yards, too, though. I can't blame the
After
players.
the play, personal foul, defense, late hit.
How about that white chalk?
Automatic first foul.
What was it?
He was out of bounds.
I know, but he was spinning back. The guys don't know he's out of bounds. I mean, I get it. You got to protect the player. But the player could have gone out of bounds, too. The way he spun, I thought the defensive players thought he was still in. Watch. He spins, and then they hit him. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
It's dangerous on the sideline. It is. I get it. It's the right call, but, I don't want to say it was a dumb call by Florida. Dumb play by Florida. They're playing hard right to the end of the game.
It was McAllister. And 5:33 to go. Toss. Kenyon Drake. Oh, they didn't get a good block on the edge.
Get to the edge that time, did they?
Austin Shepard did not get his man blocked.
Jalen Tabor, one of those really good true freshmen. And that secondary, that play, he and Duke Dawson, Quincy Wilson, and even J.C. Jackson is another guy that the Florida faithful are raving about, that have watched these people practice.
Five minutes to go. 42-21. Second and goal. Derrick Henry. Third and goal.
Vern, as I look around, I mean, this game's over. But
right.
You know how Nick does not like the crowd to leave early. I mean, a student section, they're afraid to leave because there's a lot of security going here. If they catch anybody leaving early, they might not be able to. There's not one student that has left early.
You're right. He called them out a few years ago.
That student section's full, totally full.
That's Leon Orr, starting defensive tackle for Florida. And they're all standing. Well, not all of them, but most of them.
They're full all the way to the top still. I know the score's out of whack, and remember that is one of his guys, Will Muschamp over there. Even he says, listen, don't take it personal. I got to get my team ready. Will you let Jake Coker throw here just to get the experience of throwing on third down?
We talked with Will on the phone last night, and he said one of the things that Nick Saban taught him, it's never personal.
That's right.
And you play to the end. So we'll see what Alabama has in mind with third and goal. Ryan Kelly, center. Well, nice moment in pregame. As Nick Saban, Will Muschamp. Again, the background goes back to Nick Saban hiring Will as his linebacker coach at LSU. And then he became the defensive coordinator. Together on that staff, they won a national championship in 2003. Later went to the Miami Dolphins. Will was there for 1 year, then left the NFL and went to Texas. This is that national championship team. There's Will on the far left and Nick Saban in the middle.
I think that might be Jimbo Fisher right under Will Muschamp.
You're right
there.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, he's got to pick one tonight.
Against Clemson. Florida State head coach. Now they will run it, and not very far. So it'll be 4th and goal. That is the most allowed in school history.
You know, it's also interesting, there was a lot of talk, excuse me here, a lot of talk about Florida going fast football against Alabama. They've only run 50 plays in this football game.
My goodness.
84 by Alabama, 50 for Florida.
Now let's see if they keep it conservative here. I would expect they will. Yes, they'll hand it off. And Henry will be brought down. The ball will go over on downs. I'm just wondering, against how many other schools would Saban pull the plug? A lot?
Yep.
Just something to ponder. I never thought I'd ever leave you speechless.
I got a feeling they'll talk about it this week.
And now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. We're going to go back to shortly after 2:30 Central Time and the first Alabama play of the game. Blake Sims giving you an idea of what was going to happen for the rest of the day. Goes deep. Tough coverage by Florida, and Kenyon Drake goes untouched. 87 yards for the opening touchdown. It's worth another look. Let's listen to Eli Gold.
Vogler, the tight end, in motion to the left. Here's Sims to throw with protection, wide open right side. It is caught by Alabama's Kenyon Drake at the 40. He beats everybody down the right sideline. He's going to go 87 yards. Touchdown, Alabama, on the first offensive snap for the Crimson Tide today. Bang-o, 6-0 for the good guys.
We're not allowed to do that, just so you know. Eli Gold is one of our great friends in radio, and it's always a pleasure to see him when we come to Tuscaloosa or get the Crimson Tide on the road.
And here's an interesting thing for Florida, too. Do you give some snaps to the backup quarterback Treon Harris? I mean, you know, you get a little, you know, if something happened in a big game, even for a series, wouldn't you like Harris on the field a little bit? He threw 2 passes in the Eastern Michigan game, both for touchdowns.
Here's Driscoll. He'll take off.
Down, slide. There you go.
Yeah, he did. And a reminder to stay tuned for the Dodge postgame show. That's coming up on CBS Sports. Back to our studio with Adam and the guys. Sounds like a rock group. 2:23 to go. Driscoll fires it short. It's caught by Mac Brown. It's the first time we've called his name today. No carries. He does have the catch. Tackle made by Reuben Foster, number 10.
Alabama's going to get real interesting here too, as they're going to get a bye, and then it's going to get really interesting for them. Nice throw.
Yep. Nice hit. Landon Collins, and the player is down.
I think Landon Collins is the next great player that's going to safety that's going to get drafted real high. Showed you the one-hand tackle coming from the, you know, playing near the line of scrimmage, making tackles, and one in the secondary right there. Another 5-star, well, they're probably half the team's 5-star recruits. It's kind of silly to even talk about, isn't it?
Yeah. 3rd down 7. That was LaTroy Pittman, who was hit by Collins. Driscoll slips that tackle.
I just don't like this if I'm Florida. I just don't want to look at backup quarterback Treon Harris, a true freshman out of Miami. And there he goes, limping off a little bit, see? Took a hard hit right there. It's a very important football player for you if you're Will Muschamp. He's learned firsthand. Brantley went down, you know, not easily. You know, it's just...
Yep.
It's a marathon.
punting situation now. Kyle Christie.
Wow, what a punt.
Isn't he something?
Turned over beautifully.
He was a Ray Guy specialist in 2012 and then had an off season last year, averaged 39.6. And he actually lost his job to Johnny Townsend. But that is a 66-yard punt for Christie. Well, Alabama, they're going to win this one to go 4-0. Open next week and then at Ole Miss.
Two different type of teams back to back on the road. Ole Miss with Bo Wallace coming on, completing 75% of his passes, 4 big wideouts. Ole Miss Hugh Freeze has been waiting for this game. This is the one they want to win on the road, at home, having Alabama go on the road for the first time.
Alec Morris is on. And he will hand it off. Third string quarterback. Tyron Jones, number 20. And a little friendly pat for each other. A moment ago, Blake Sims. What a day. How about that? Waited patiently. Won the battle in the scrimmage 1 week before the season opener. And today, 23 of 33 for 400. And he had three something at halftime.
Yeah, and again, take out the big plays if you want. He still did great without that. You know, our conference here has gone through a transition. You know, you lose McCarron, Murray, Mettenberger, Connor Shaw, Johnny Manziel. You know, the whole, and now the young guys. Kenny Hill. Last week we saw 2 of them, Dylan Thompson, and Hudson Mason. And now Blake Sims picks it up from there.
Well, it was a brilliant performance by Sims. And congratulatory pats from Nick Saban, Will Muschamp. 42-21. The stars of the day, Amari Cooper, 10 catches, 201. And Blake Sims, who threw for 445. This is Cooper. For Gary Danielson and Allie LaForce, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Tuscaloosa. 42-21, Crimson Tide win it. Coming up tonight, NCIS and the other regular programming. The Dodge postgame show is up next. After these messages and a word from your local station.